Right, I think we are live. All right, before everyone joins in, this is due to go live in 2 minutes officially. So for anyone listening at the moment, I'm trying something new here. This is a live stream, but just purely over on Patreon themselves. Now this is showing. Got 18 people here at the moment. Good evening, Fentour. How are you, mate? How you doing, Martin? Everything all right? Yeah, folks, so this is going to be a live stream purely for those over on Patreon. Don't hate me, but I need to give them something back. We normally try and do meetups and ride-outs, and obviously just not being able to do that in the current COVID situation. Let me sort that camera angle out. False Neutral, how you doing, man? You all right? How's things? Yeah, so I thought I would try, seeing as the podcast had a bit of time off over Christmas and New Year, I was supposed to have Steph Jevons on, and obviously she's had to postpone because of some personal issues, so I was at a loss without a guest, and I thought, well, let's try this live stream. How is it for those of you listening in Flyer? Andy, how are you, sir? You're all right? How is it, guys? Is the audio good? Is there much of a lag? How is it? Could somebody let me know? Evening, folks. Tony Hannum, Biker Espana, Knut. How is everybody doing? Can someone let me know if you can hear me okay? How's the audio? All good. Fantastic. Cheers, Andy. Thank you very much for that. Right. Yeah. So as I was saying, this is just going to be a live stream. If you're listening to the podcast, this will be a little bit different because it's just going to be me talking to myself for however long we go. If you're watching the video, hello. And if you're taking part live, thanks very much for joining us on this Sunday evening. Great. Knut, a bit roomy, but all right. What's that mean? Echoey? Fentour, brilliant, sounds good. But she hasn't got her glasses on. Oh, Mrs. Flyer says Mrs. Flyer says you're looking good. Hi, Carol, how are you? Terry Wright, evening, buddy, how are you? Yeah, folks, so my format for tonight, really, I've not really got that much of a plan. You'd be surprised to hear. I'm just going to wing it, really. This is a chance for everyone here in the clan, the Patreon community, to have a little chat. You let me know what you're thinking's going on at the moment. More chance of a one-on-one here. Well, you know, we're nothing like Andy with 1,000 people watching a live stream, but it will hopefully be a little bit more intimate and personal. Who else we got here? Johnny Hackinson, how you doing, Johnny? Terry Wright, Blitzer 109, Just Sammy. Slight echo. All right, might be to do with where my voice, where my mic is. I'll keep it a little bit further away, see how that is. Paul Brown, Hartley Rice, how are you, mate? Just Sammy. Yeah, so let's kick it off. Who wants to chat about what? Let me know. Somebody type something. Now, apparently I have to keep both screens open, not both screens, both windows open here, the Patreon page and the YouTube one, because apparently I think you can comment on either one. So let me just have a look. Maybe I've got to refresh the Patreon page and see what's going on there. How Tony Hannum, how are you doing with your weight loss? And right above him, Johnny Hackinson said, should I get the beer? Well, let's kick straight off with that. Yes, Johnny, everybody who's watching, if you have a little tipple of choice, alcoholic or otherwise, crack it open. Let's start as we mean to go on. Oh, go. I swear Mrs. Teapot shakes these beers before I get them out the fridge. I've got about a quarter of a can of beer now and the rest is all foam. Right, so the Patreon page has just crashed, so not sure what's going on there. There we go, it's just come back to me. Right, where were we? So, Tony Hannum, how are you doing with your weight loss? Well, mate, I weighed myself last week. If you're not following on Instagram, I sort of woke up, I think it was about the 27th, 28th of December, and suddenly realised I was a bit of a fat bugger. And I've known I've piled the beef on, but I hadn't really appreciated how much I'd put the weight on until the last few vids when I've been sat watching me when I'm editing the vids and then doing the podcast with my wife, Nikki, Mrs. Teapot. I really noticed it and I thought, you've got a proper gut and you've got proper moves going on there. So it sort of hit me and I thought, right, enough excuses. I've been making excuses for the last few years. Time to sort it out. So our neighbours happened to be around just before Christmas, before the whole lockdown thing, because he had bought his missus a running machine for Christmas. How to start a divorce. But yeah, he bought the running machine and he was stowing it in our garage. So they came round to collect it. And he said, look, I've got a rowing machine I'm not using anymore. So I'm going to chuck it out. Do you want it? And I was like, right, let's crack on. So that started it really. And I thought, why wait to the 1st of January? Let's just crack on now. So if you follow Instagram, at TeapotOne Insta, on my stories, just the daily stories, every day, Monday to Friday, I'm training. And I've just thought, well, I'll chuck stuff up to show that I'm doing it, to shame myself into doing it. There was a couple of like pictures of me in my pants to begin with, just to sort of shame myself into doing this. And I said, if anyone wants to join in, tag me. A couple of little hashtags. I think it was hashtag Trim Teapot and hashtag Beast Bruce, I think is the 2 hashtags. But tag me at TeapotOne Insta and in your post. And I will, every day, I will tag you in a post just to try and keep us all motivated. And the response has been amazing. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, the weight loss, I've been doing it 2 weeks now. I haven't weighed myself for this second week. First week I only lost 2 pounds, but we'll see how it goes. I feel great. I've got to admit, I feel a lot better. Excuse me. I feel much better than I was. I was feeling terrible, to be perfectly honest, in the build up to all this. So I think it was just my body's way of saying, sort your life out. And the whole pancreatitis thing as well after in September, I think that was another sort of warning shot across the bow. So yes, in answer to your question, Tony, I'm waffling, I do apologise. I think it's going okay. Steve Sherlock, hi Bruce, great to meet you, pal. Cheers, Steve, and you, pal, and you. Terry Wright, wouldn't let me comment on Patreon, made me come to YouTube. Okay, so, well, I'm only going by the sort of Googling that I did on how to do a live stream on Patreon, and it said keep both windows open because you could have people commenting on both platforms, but it looks like you can only comment on YouTube, so that should keep things fairly straightforward for us. Fentour, too much mud and shite on the roads for bikes here. Then again, lockdown stops us too. Yes, I was out just before the full lockdown hit. I did a review on the TempRocket 3, which is coming out. You guys will get to see that tomorrow. I'll probably post that up, and then it will go live on Friday. And the roads are horrendous, aren't they? I mean, not only is there black ice everywhere, as poor old Richie Vida found out today. I'm sure he'll let you know. And yeah, there's crap everywhere. It's terrible out there on the bikes. Look after yourselves. Peter Morris, evening Bruce, sitting here with a broken arm, so slow on typing. Ah, mate, what happened? Obviously you broke your arm, but how did that happen? Andrew McIver, when will we see you up in the Highlands? Ah, Andrew, I will be home to God's country as soon as I possibly can, pal. The second the restrictions are lifted and allow, I'm hitting the road. I was supposed to be doing, on my old goals on Patreon, I don't know if you saw, but you can set goals so that when you either hit a monetary amount or you hit like X amount of patrons, you can say, when we hit that, we're going to do this. And originally I'd set a goal, a monetary goal, so that when I hit that amount, I'd celebrate it by hitting the road for 10 days and doing a Euro-wide road trip. And you at Patreon, you clansfolk, would basically tell me where to go, what to do, what roads to go on. You know, it'd just be directed by you guys and ladies, obviously. But obviously there's two things. One, COVID arrived and booted that squarely in the knackers. And secondly, that goal was set when I was like working in a traditional job for a living. So Patreon income was purely for the channel. Now it's obviously Patreon's a major part of my monthly income. So I'm still going to do it, but it will depend financially on where and when I do it. But with regards to the Highlands, I'm coming as soon as we can. Steve Sherlock, can you say happy birthday to my stepdaughter Daisy? She's 21. Daisy, happy birthday. What a way to spend your 21st. But appreciate the time of the family, and I'm sure you will make up for it when freedom returns. Tony Hannum, like you, I'm trying to lose weight, so I'm on the water. So, oh, right, so I was thinking, on the water, what, you swimming in this? Yeah, so you're not drinking beer. Yeah, I shouldn't be drinking, but, you know, what's the point in being the fittest corpse in the graveyard? So I only drink when I do the podcast normally anyway, so I'll have a little beer. But I admire your willpower, Tony. Gary Whipperman. Yeah, bugger. Is that the low-fat beer? Do you know, I think this is my last couple of cans of Brewdog, and I think they have just released a low-calorie beer, haven't they? I think. Is that the one that they were giving away or something? Knut, just tap the beer on the side before you open the can. That's a good point. I normally tap the top, but that didn't work on that one. Never mind. Mark Monday, a Scotsman spilling the beer. Don't worry, Mark. I will be sucking that out of the carpet as soon as I possibly can. John Gore, evening, Bruce. How you doing, John? How are things? Oh my, the comments have just disappeared. Where's John? Where's John? Where's John? John, you were my marker. Where have you gone? Bear with me, folks. Sorry, the comments all of a sudden just jumped right up. Gary Worth, John Gore. Evening, Bruce. There we are. How you doing, John? Everything all right, pal? Blitzer 109. Is that a pic of your mum behind you on the shelf? Yes, mate, it is. She's always with me. That's me, mum. That's the whole reason. Well, the whole reason I'm here. Obviously, my dad had something to do with it, but yeah, my mum was the one that gave me those immortal words, and it's never been the same since. Barry Lascelles. Hey, Bruce, how you doing, buddy? I'm all good, Barry. Really good, thank you. Barry and his missus were originally supposed to be coming away on the Canaries trip. But sadly, that was with the second or third time we had to cancel that trip. So, Barry, I'm sure, was it the Canaries or was it one of the Spanish ones? You were due to come away on one of the trips. I forget which one. I've had to cancel so many this year, as has everybody. But I'm sure we'll get a chance to do it again, Barry. Gary Taylor, how you doing, Gary? Evening, Bruce. I'm thinking of changing the big Ducati Enduro in for the KTM GT. What do you think? Now, folks, if you've watched the Pyrenees series, Gary was the guy who was practically getting the panniers down on the big Ducati Multistrada Enduro. Good rider. You kept that quiet, Gary, till about halfway through the trip, and all of a sudden unleashed hell, as did everybody. But wow, so KTM GT. I like the GT, but I was surprised when I rode the GT and the Super Adventure sort of back to back, because I thought I was going to love the GT, and all the KTM folks were saying to me, if you like that Super Adventure, wait till you get on the GT. And the GT is good, it's fast, it really is fast, but it was almost, dare I say, it was almost too clinical for me. I like the sort of rawness of the Super Adventure, to be honest, which is rich because, I ride the GS, which is sort of pales into insignificance, really, when you compare it to the KTMs in terms of, like, raw, brutal power. But I preferred the Super Adventure, mate. I would give the Super Adventure a little try and see what you think. The GT is a cracking bike, and there's going to be some amazing deals on them now, because you know what's coming probably this year is the that new Super Duke R engine, the Gen 3 engine. Well, that's going to feed its way into the Super Adventure and certainly into the GT. So, yeah, be worth trying for sure. Mpiao, is it Mpiao? Is that how you say it? Hi, Bruce. How you doing, pal? Everything all right? Terry writes, would be interested in biometric changes too. Measure your arms. Oh, we're talking. I was thinking, what are you talking about here? Measuring your arms, your legs, your belly, chest, etc., and note the change. Not always about the weight loss. Yes, mate. I've actually done that. I'm using the MyFitness app. MyFitness app, and I've recorded my body measurements on there, and I've got to tell you, I was disgusted at the size of my waist, because there's different ways you can measure your waist in there. There's the waist round your sort of traditionally where your trousers would sit. Well, certainly where my trousers sit, which is probably because of my gut. It sits sort of across my hips, just above my hips, below my belly button. But the way they tell you to measure your waist is basically around the widest part, so around your belly button and the sort of back fat that you have, or lower hip fat. I measured that and I was disgusted at the result. I'm not telling you what it was. In fact, fuck it, yes I will. It was my chest, I was happy with, 51-inch chest tight. I'm happy with, I've always had a big sort of barrel chest. But my waist was 48 inches. 48. Now I wear a 38-40 trouser. So that sort of really highlighted to me what's going on. All that weight is just piling around the middle. And I tell you when I noticed it, see if you watch the vids, the bike review vids, and you watch the cockpit cam, what's this channel become? We're talking about weight loss and how much weight I put on. Never mind. When you look at the cockpit cam, looking back, I know I've got, in that new rucker suit, I've got the front chest sort of plate in there anyway, which does add a few pounds. But I just kept looking at it and thinking, look at the size of your gut, boy. So, yeah, there's no hiding from it. I've taken measurements and I will compare them once I've sort of got further down the line. I don't see any point in doing it at least for a month, if not probably 2 to 3 months before I'll take measurements again, body measurements. We'll see. False neutral. What does everyone ride? You got the Tiger 800 XRX. What about everybody else? What's everyone else riding these days? Surely you can't all be on the best bike in the world. Just like the touch paper there. Excuse me. From Knuts, if you feel better, then that's awesome. Glad to hear. Yes, mate, I really do. You hear it from all these fitness folk, don't you, all the time, that exercise sort of, it's about the mental impact it has as well, and about makes you feel better. And I used to think, just bugger off, because in my youth, sort of in my teens and into my early 20s, I was quite active, played rugby to a good level, used to do a lot of weights, you know, not athletic by any stretch, but I was always doing something. And I hated training. I've always hated running. Running is total bollocks. I've always hated it. But I was never one of those people that would turn around and go, that's made me feel amazing. It was just, it's something that had to be done. I can genuinely say that now I'm enjoying just this half-hour burst every morning, and I do feel a lot better for it. Let's see how that goes. Hartley Ride, same here. I can't post on Patreon. Yeah, it seems to be the way, mate. It looks like Patreon can't be sort of integrated, it looks like, into the live. So we'll just stick to the, if you're watching this over on Patreon, can I get you to come across onto YouTube, and then you'll be able to leave some comments there and interact. The Mad Leprechaun, Mart. Evening, Bruce. How you doing, Mart? How are things, pal? I hope you and the lovely Mrs. Leprechaun are doing very well. John Gore, still riding into the smoke for work. Good on you, John. Got a night duty tonight, pal. You stay safe. Todd, GSA rider. Hello from Oklahoma. How you doing, Todd? What's it like over there at the moment, man? I mean, I take it Oklahoma must get cold. Must get very cold in the winter, surely. What's it like over there? Ian P. Hi, Bruce. How you doing, Ian? How are things, man? Going back to the job, who had the higher scores on the gun range, you or Mrs. TP? Do you know, I don't know if the wife and I ever actually went and did a sort of classification shoot together at the same time. She'll always tell you that she's a better shot. I don't think that's necessarily true, but she's definitely trained in bigger weaponry than me. Nikki has a bigger gun than I had. That is true, and she will never let me forget that. Barry Lascelles, get yourself up here soon, Bruce. I'll buy you a tea coffee from the Biker Cove in Queensferry. Oh, nice, man. That's the one that looks over at the bridge, isn't it? Is that the one that looks onto the river, the estuary where the bridge is? Must be, if it's Queensferry, you must be able to see the bridge. Yeah, definitely, you're on, pal. I will be up, I promise you. As soon as I possibly can, I'll be up there. Ventura, been for a walk with the dog today in the forest. The old Bill were there stopping bikers who were riding the trails. Not a COVID-approved exercise, I guess. See, that pisses me off. That does piss me off. I mean, I don't want to get political on this, but, you know, I'll address this. That annoys me. Why are the police wasting their time policing trails? You're not doing any harm. You're not a COVID risk, surely, if you're out on the trails. I don't understand it. Yes, you could have an accident. Yes, that's an added impact on the NHS. I totally get that. But when you're at home doing all your DIY, which everybody's been doing anyway, obviously you're an added risk of an accident happening, surely. So that being out on your bike is going to do wonders for your physical fitness. It's going to do wonders for your mental health. What is the problem? I don't understand what the problem is there. Anyway, Phillips, when are you going to stop pissing around on rowing machines and Triumphs and get on with editing the Canaries trip? Seriously, how good does the dronage look? Mike came away with me to the Canaries there. We were so lucky, weren't we, Mike, to get away on that trip. Basically, the Canaries opened up in the travel corridor, and all of a sudden you didn't need to isolate or quarantine when you came back. All you had to do was fill in a couple of forms, activate a Spanish app on your phone, just like our NHS track and trace thing. It's a Spanish version, which is a million times easier and better, to be perfectly honest. The paperwork was so easy and smooth to fill in to get out there, and you had to go and have a COVID test done at Boots. So you had to have COVID test within 72 hours of your arrival in the hotel in the Canaries. Bish bash bosh, 7 of us went over, no problems at all. And about day 3, wasn't it, Mike? They announced that unless you got home by, I think, 4 a.m. Saturday morning, then you then had to go into 10-day isolation when you returned from the Canaries. So all of us then faced sort of isolating for Christmas, where you could do the 5-day test and release type thing as well. So yeah, we all went. We had an amazing time. It was, man, it's hard to justify. It's hard to do the riding over in the Canaries justice by talking about it. You're going to have to see the video, and even then it's going to pale into insignificance as to compare what it's like to actually be there. But yeah, Mike, the footage looks amazing. The drone footage looks amazing, and I will be cracking on editing that as soon as I can. Hopefully by the end of this month, I'll either have one episode out, or I will be starting the edit. I've got a few sponsor commitments at the moment. I need to do at least one vid on the Innovv K2 system. Hence, I've done a few posts today on Patreon, on social media, just asking what people want to know and what their feedback is on it, so that I can address that in the review. What else do I need to do? Andy, TMF, this is when I need your sort of logistical brain, because I'm sure you all have lists and spreadsheets of everything that you need to cover. I need to start doing that. I've got a few vids, basically, folks, that I need to get out the way before I can commit the time into starting the Canaries edit, but it is coming. And there's also the Slovenia one as well, Canary Moto Tours, who used to be a sponsor, but sadly, because of COVID, they're having to scale things down for the time being. But I was over with them. They do Slovenian tours as well during the summer. So that series will be coming out as well, probably around about Easter time. Get Out and Explore UK. Oh, it's all jumped. Get Out and Explore UK. Where have you gone? Sorry, folks, the comments have just jumped about 800. Get and Explore. Evening, Bruce. I'm really missing riding my VN 800 during lockdown. What's the strangest reason you've ever used to be able to get out on the bike? Well, I'm really lucky because this is my job. So strictly speaking, I can still go out and ride at the moment. However, I don't think, I suppose it is legally now, it is all in law, isn't it? So I don't think legally I could justify doing like a run to the other end of the country. In fact, I think at the moment I would probably be hard pushed to justify leaving my county, my immediate area. So I was out right at the start of the year on the Rocket 3, but I was literally within about 20 miles of where I live. It was just all the local roads. So, in my mind, I'm justified in doing it. It's work. I'm not mixing with anyone at all. It was all down backcountry lanes and out by myself. It's a difficult one at the moment. I'm sure Andy, TMF, apologies if I'm dragging you into something here, Andy, I do apologise, but, a lot of us have had a wee chat about it, and I think it's just it's one of those things, I think because it is work, you're justified, but there's maybe a little bit of a social responsibility as well. I was a bit blasé about it, and initially with this latest lockdown, I thought, nah, I can justify it. But I've had a little time to think. I'm thinking maybe I do have a bit of a responsibility to fly the flag a little bit and not rub people's faces in it. So at the moment, I'm easing off the riding until things calm down a wee bit, I think. Peter Morris, how did TV gig happen? Right, yeah, God, the Amazon TV thing, motorbike TV show. Well, Tom, who is the producer, director, owner of Geek Media, Tom I've known for many, many years now. God, what time is it? That is just under 25 minutes, and I'm going to mention it. Hey, when I came back from the world trip, I met Tom at one of the, I think Horizons Unlimited, or one of the events at shows that I was at anyway, chatting about the trip. And we got chatting there anyway, and kept in touch. And then when it came for me doing them DVD, I struggled for a few years not really knowing what to do with this DVD. I was just sort of at a loss, thinking, what do I do? I don't know how to do it justice. So I contacted Tom, asked for his advice, and Tom had his own sort of production company by then. So I said, how much would it be for you to take this on? So we came to a deal, and Tom is the one that's responsible for doing the DVD that you can now buy online, TeapotOne.com, which is more of a retrospective look at the trip. Anyone that's not seen it yet, you can download it, you can buy the physical DVD. It's not the whole trip like you can see on YouTube for free. It's a sort of, Tom's asking me questions off camera and I'm answering them, and he makes me cry, the bastard. But anyway, so yeah, Tom and I kept in touch from that, and then he just sort of got in touch like this time last year and said, I've got this new bike show coming. I'd like you to be one of the presenters. Would you like to do it? So obviously I was like, yes, please. I definitely would. So that's how that happened, really. And then obviously COVID happened and all the restrictions, and that then has knock-on effects to sponsors and everything like this. So it was sort of in limbo for a long time until the principal sponsor, Dunlop, sort of came forward and said, yes, we'll go ahead with it. And they battered out their deal, and that was it. So now it looks like it's going to happen. Don't know when we start filming. It's due to air, I think, around about August. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it. Genuinely, I'm really looking forward to it. Interesting. A lot of people have said, oh, you've made it now, but, I'm not going to talk monetary values with you, but I don't even know if I'm getting paid, to be perfectly honest with you. There's nothing like that being discussed. So I think it's just like expenses, but it's potentially what it can lead to, and the exposure it will hopefully provide, like the channel and the TeapotOne thing. And I'll get a chance to do my own personal reviews away from the series when we're on location, when we're away filming stuff and we get bikes to review. I'm hopefully going to also be able to allow to review them for the channel as well. So I'll bring you folks some behind the scenes access as well on Patreon. Oh God, Mark Fulcher. Once all the weights come off, are you going to be better looking than Dickie Ennis? To be fair, I would say, Fulch, that I'd say I'm probably about there, and Dickie is about there, I would say. I mean, if you like the sort of boy band look, you'd probably go for Dickie Ennis. But, if you want a proper manly man, let's see if Dickie joins in. Gary Whipperman, haha, yes, what was that to? I missed that one. Mad Leprechaun, no beer here, I'm working in the morning. Ah, mate, gutted for you. Gutted, I remember those days. Pete Hayworth, how you doing, Pete? Evening, Bruce. This is the perfect excuse to end dry January. 1 week was long enough anyway. Cheers. Well, cheers to you, Pete. I mean, what a start of the year, eh? What a start of the year. It will get better, people. It will get better. Brian Longy Manis. Hi, Bruce. Looking well. Thank you very much, Brian. Please tell us something that happened in your life that people find hard to believe. Oh, wow. That's a good question. Have you been talking to Pete English? Something that happened in my life that people find hard to believe. Wow. I was on a tour bus. I got offered cocaine by Faith No More. That's one for you. The band Faith No More. I used to work the doors in Glasgow, and I used to work at a club called The Garage on Sauchiehall Hall Street, which is one of those clubs that you either love or you hate. I still, to this day, love the place. 18 years of age, started working on the door. It's the busiest nightclub in Europe at one point, open 7 days a week, and it was a sort of major concert venue. Bands would play at like the SECC, and then the next one down was us, The Garage in Glasgow, and then from there, that sort of stuff. So you used to get up and coming bands, but you'd also get the occasional big bands would come and play for like the more intimate gigs. So one day we had Faith No More turning up to play. So I've gone out to the tour bus to bring the band on stage, and as I get out on the bus, just to tell them that we're ready for you whenever you are, lads. Literally, I'm on the table, and I'm assuming I mean, it might have been sugar, could have been sugar or chalk or anything, but there was literally a mound of white powder sat on the table, and they were just like, "Do you help yourself if you want some?" I was just like, "No, you're all right, thanks." That job exposed me to various sides of life that I wasn't quite aware of at the time. Good days, good days. Chris Holmes, just had my trip with Canary Motorcycle Tours cancelled. Gutted. Ah, man, gutted for you. I know Joy and Martin will be just as gutted, if not more, mate. They genuinely thought they'd been thrown a lifeline when the restrictions eased, the quarantine restrictions eased just before sort of December. And then obviously they get yet another kick in the nuts when it was all brought in again. But Chris, make sure you do it, mate, because honestly, you'll hear me say this time and time again when I get to places like, this is the best roads in the world, this is the best road in the world. But I think for the size of the Canary Islands and the quality of the roads that are there, I don't think you can beat it. I really don't. You know, the islands are like, what, 30, 40 miles across, Gran Canaria, the biggest island. And I think there's something like 3,000 kilometers of road just on that one island. And they range from beautiful, fast, open, coastal, sweeping roads to really tight single tracked mountain tracks, but they're all great fun, really technical, a lot of fun. So Chris, make sure you do go there, and anyone else that's thinking of doing it, try it out, honestly. At least once in your life, give it a try. Barry Lascelles, it was Canaries, definitely get away on the next one. Yes, mate, yeah. Gutted for you guys when you had to when we all had to cancel that one. Make sure you come out again. Alex Warren, hi Bruce, why do you always stand at the microphone, never sit down? I've got this standing desk, and to be honest with you, I like standing up at it because I spend my life sat editing. So in the podcast, I quite like to stand up, and it's just, to be honest, I think this is a better backdrop to when I'm sit down, because when I'm sat down, hang on, we look at, like when I'm sat down, you see all that, but when I'm stood up, you're sort of seeing that. Does that make any sense? It's a slightly better backdrop. In fact, let me use that. A little bit of a backlight there. Does that? We'll get all technical. Does that backlight me at all? I don't know. I'm all new to this. And allegedly, Alex, the whole reason I got the stand-up desk, which I got to admit, I blagged this. There's a company called the English Electric or English Standing Desk Company on Facebook that I just contacted and said, I've got a channel. I don't suppose I could get a desk from you and I'll feature it in the vids. And lo and behold, they sent me one. So I got the desks because sitting down is bad for your heart, and you know, to be sat down for 12 to 14 hours a day. I mean, I literally, how many steps have I done today? This is not out the ordinary for me. How many steps have I done? Bear in mind, I've not exercised. I've done 1,257 steps today, which is quite a lot for what I normally do. Just sat. I've had days when I've done less than 600 steps. So I thought, get a standing desk, you're stood up. It's a little bit better for your heart. Tiny steps, tiny steps. Johnny Hackinson, hi Bruce, you haven't mentioned your around the world trip. Come in, we are waiting. I'm a wee bit behind with the comments, Johnny. Obviously I have already now. Mad Leprechaun, did you measure your beard? I think I'm at wizard length now. Is that wizard length? Not sure. Steve Sherlock, if you have 2 permanent bikes in the garage, what would be bike number 2? As I think I know what number 1 would be. Well, wow. At the moment, my dream bike, no, not dream, the bike I would have for having fun and games, why is that? Can you still see me? The old cameras, there we go. The bike I would have for mucking about on the road, for purely road riding, it's got to be the Gen'3 Super Duke R. I love that bike, genuinely love that machine. Would I have that and the 1250 GS? Oh, blimey. Oof. See, the GS, you all know my thoughts on the GS, but I think if I was going to have 2 bikes, I was going to have two bikes, I might. Dare I say, I couldn't have two KTMs. That's a good point, actually. Yeah, probably the GS and the Super Duke. Then that would tick the two sides. I think there's so many. There's so many good bikes out there. That Speed Triple RS, amazing. What a road bike! Amazing bike. The Super Duke just wins it for me because of the Super Duke engine. I like the sort of brutal rawness of that KTM engine. But the Speed Triple, I was gobsmacked at how good a road bike that is. Fantastic. And watch this space is all I'm saying. Andy knows exactly what I'm talking about there. Right, Get Out and Explore UK. Don't worry about your weight, just get a bigger bike. Well, I just had the Rocket 3. You can't get any bigger than that. 2.5 litres, 2,500 cc's, that thing. What a machine that bike is. Gutted I had that, like when it's -2 outside. I'm going to try and blag that for some point during the sort of spring, summer, if we can. I'd love to get that on dry roads. I'd love to get it on a road trip, like up to Scotland or something. Just Sammy, ZZR 1400. Yeah, I've never ridden that. I've never ridden that. There's been a few people recently actually messaging me about that, saying take one out, try it. Well, I will. I've got no contacts with Kawasaki UK, to be honest. Get nowhere with them. So if any of you out there do, please drop me a line, try and introduce us. My local dealership, I haven't approached actually, but maybe I will about taking out the ZZR. We'll see. Todd GSA rider, 2021 triple black GSA. Oh, that's what you ride. Oh, cool. Why did you go for the GSA, Todd, as opposed to the GS? I'm always interested in what people's thoughts are on that. Hartley rides. Is the weight loss thing so you can launch a base slayer? Do you know that actually did have an impact, because Roger, who does the merch, he periodically will send through some sample items to see what I think of them. And one of them was the sort of base layer. You know, Richie Vida has it, and I think TMF's got one. I think we've all got pretty much the same sort of merch, to be honest, with our logos on it. But he sent mine through, and I put it on, and I just thought, you look like a sausage that's had an anaphylactic shock, whatever you call it. I just thought that's disgusting. So that rang alarm bells, but it wasn't the motivation at all. But it helped. John Gore, BMW K1600 GT-LE. That is a nice bike. That K1600, wow, what a bike. Have you watched the 44 Teeth vid, the bagger vid, when Fagan and Mossy go up they do John O'Groats to Land's End in like 3 days, I think it is, on the K1600 and a Goldwing. Wow, what a vid. It's a great vid, I love them. But 3 days, come on, boys, do that in one, come on. Yeah, great bike that, John, very good bike. Goldwing, I've not ridden yet. I'm dying to have a shot at that, dying. I know everyone that's tried it so far, I think Richie Vida absolutely loved it. I know Andy TMF loved it. Chops, I'm not sure if Chops has ridden it yet, to be honest. I think he has. Anyway, Get Out and Explore UK Kawasaki VN 800 Classic. Nice, never ridden that either. Mark Fulcher, 2019 Suzuki G6R1000R. Is yours the RR, is it? Mark, I didn't know. I thought it was the standard Gixxer. Nice bike that. Enjoyed it. Barry Lascelles VFR 800 2002 V4. Fun, beautiful. Never ridden a VFR. Obviously, Richie Vida's got his and loves it. I've never ridden one. Ventour GSX 1400 R1200 GS Harley Fat Bob 114, and soon the Energy Cat Rebel. Yeah, Martin, I saw your vid on the review on the Rebel. You loved it, didn't you? You went and bought one. Yes, good bike, very good bike. And there's that new, is it the RS version that's come out now? Yeah, nice bikes that. Yeah. Knut, Moto Guzzi V85 TT. Ah, nice. I've never ridden a Moto Guzzi, any Moto Guzzi at all. What are they like, Knut? Tell me. I know Chops obviously, he's done a couple of launches, I think, on the Moto Guzzis. Blitzer 109, 2008 GSX 650F here. Good solid bike that. Good solid one. Tony Hannum, Honda CBR 650F. Good man. Peter Hayworth, an 04 Honda VFR 800, an 05 Honda VTR 1000 Firestorm. Again, not ridden the Firestorm. Nice. Hartley Rides, Cross Tourer, XJR 1300, and Enfield Himalayan. Nice. Cross Tourer, surprising bike that. Very surprising. It's we've got them over in the Canaries, the Canary Motorcycle Tours. And I was a little bit of a bike snob, I must admit, when I first saw it and thought, this is going to be a little bit tame. It was great fun. A lot of fun there. XJR 1300, I rode one. I rode an 04 and 05 with that budget bike series that I've just sort of started. I rode one just before December, I think it was. That's a good bike. I think they stopped making that now, aren't they? The XJR? Or was that the FJR? Maybe it was the FJR they're stopping. Andy, TMF, help me out. Tell me. Biker España, J6R 750, KTM Duke 790. Nice. 2008 GSA. Good bikes. Mad Leprechaun. Where have you gone? What happened there? Sorry, folks, bear with me. The comments have just jumped again. Mad Leprechaun, BMW R1200 GS Rally, great bike. Lamb Shop Ride, she's in. How you doing, Lamb Shops? How are you, pal? I take it I must be really behind in the comments now. Sorry, folks, blabbing too much. Johnny Hackerton, Tracer 900. I've never ridden the Tracers. I've not done one of them either. Yeah, Yamahas. I think the only Yamaha I've taken out. Is that going to be the FJR? Probably is. Not sure if I've taken any other Yamahas out. I've had a wee shot of an R1 and an R6, but that was just a mate's bike. Biker España, do you miss the daily commute? Do you know what? Perversely, yes, I do, because I used to ride every single day of the year, no matter what the weather. And now it's a fairly rare occurrence that I get out on the bike at the moment. So, well, I mean, everyone's in the same boat, I admit, but I've gone from riding every day, even just commuting, to, if I get out once a week at the moment, it's an event. And I do miss the sort of challenge of that commuting in London, because it can be fairly entertaining at times. Roger White, knock knock, coming in. Good evening all. How you doing, Roger? Roger's the chap that handles all the merch. How you doing, Rog? Great work on your running, by the way. Well done on your 10K. Andy Horton, hello from Wales. How you doing, Andy? Barry Lascelles, yeah, on the Forth River. Looks over all three bridges now. Yeah, that's the calf, wasn't it? We were talking about Queensferry. Blimey, I am behind in the comments. Roger White. Let's see your comments held. Did you swear, Roger? No, I've got a Fat Ninja. Fat Ninja GTR. That's a big old bike that you've got, Roger. It really is. Terry Wright. PC around here got stuck on, arrested, a non-compliant COVID positive bloke. Mask came off in the struggle, and following the body cam footage, they stuck him on. Should have let go, apparently. I mean, yeah, it's the world we live in now, really, isn't it? Like the old body cameras had come in sort of a year or two before I left the old bill, and everything is covered now. There's no escape. Everything is covered. It used to be people get the phones out and cover you, or surrounding CCTV. So you really have to know what you're doing, and you've got to 100% know the legislation you're using to detain people and to put hands on. You put hands on somebody, you have got to know what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, really. It's one of those jobs, isn't it, Terry? You get stuck on for it. I don't know. Wasn't there, I can't comment. Tony Hannum, you mentioning drones, just check your batteries. Checked mine the other week and they were really low. Yeah, I think if it's a DJI drone you've got, Tony, by default, they have a 10-day memory in them. So the battery levels will try and stay at whatever level they're at, I think, for 10 days, and then they automatically will start powering down. And the idea of that is, I think these sort of lithium batteries are getting better all the time, but these DJI ones suffered quite badly from, is it memory they call it? Power memory or power fade or something. So that if you constantly let your battery drop to 60% and then you recharge it, 60% and then you recharge it, the battery will automatically start thinking it's only got 40% working power in it. So I think how they were getting around that, DJI, was they were introducing this sort of battery fade in it, so that the battery will automatically drain itself much lower, and therefore when you charge it up, you're getting more of a sort of full charge and full usage of the whole capacity, if that makes any sense. You can change it. If you go in the app, you can change, you certainly used to be able to, you can change what the fade is, you know, how many days you allow before the battery starts to drop. And obviously the cold at the moment, cold has a huge impact on batteries, as you'll find out if you've got an electric bike, because that really impacts on the battery life. Ian P, where's Pete English? I know I've not, there he is. He's about 4 comments below you, Ian. Alex Warren, Sub Club, Cat House, or Reds. Oh, now there's a man who's lived a life. The subby's still going, I think. I think the garage bought, the owners of the garage and the Cat House bought the subby, I think. My son's 23 now, and he now goes clubbing in the subby. Cat House is an institution. It's proper rock club, that was. And Reds is where all the beautiful people used to go when I was there. I don't know what it's like now. Yeah, Silky Hall Street, Glasgow. What a place, man. Fond memories. Gingerbread Adventures. Hey, man, when you're getting your first Harley, would I buy a Harley? I think, do you know that so far I've taken out, is it the Electroglide I took out? And the Fat Boy. Are you allowed to say Fat Boy? The Heavy Boy. I've just watched the, oh God, what's he called? Daniel Hayes, the Aussie guy with the Harleys. I've just watched his video. It's funny. If you've not checked it out, check it out. Just go on YouTube, type in Harley and Daniel Hayes, and is it $1 Million Bogan? That's his name, $1 Million Bogan. Check that channel out. Brilliant. But yeah, they have this thing about political correctness. Can you say a Harley Fat Boy? You know, is it a Harley? I can't remember what they call it. Not tall enough for his weight, boy. You can't even say boy. It's X-Gen or whatever it is. But would I have a Harley in my garage? Do you know, I think if I was maybe down to, if I could have 5 bikes, I would probably have a Fat Boy in my top 5, I think. Although I've now ridden the Rocket 3, and I think if you put a full system, aftermarket system on the Rocket 3 to unleash the engine a bit and give it a bit more of a brutal sound, that might overtake the Fat Boy. But the Fat Boy, just with the brutal raw nature of it, you know, that engine just gets in your soul, man, and then the whole bike moves, and it's just it's a real experience to ride the Fat Boy. I'm not trying to promote myself here, but yeah, it is. So I don't know. I've been pleasantly surprised by Harleys, genuinely have, and I never thought I would. Roger White, when is TeapotOne doing a live stream instead of PT? Doing a live stream? Oh, sorry. When is TeapotOne doing a live stream of PT like Joe Wicks? You do not want to see me training at the moment. No. If I shed some timber to celebrate, I might do a little Instagram live circuit or something. But at the moment, I'm not, because things are still moving an hour after I've stopped. Missenden Flyer, I certainly have. What's that in reply to, Andy? Sorry, mate. I'm well behind with the comments here, I think. Pete English, whoop, whoop. I've managed to work this frigging computer. How you doing, Pete? We've been wondering where you are, pal. Mad Leprechaun, oh my God, TMF, hello. Yes, TMF is in the house. I think we just need Richie now. We've got the sort of Westlife back together, I think. Steve Meeson, hello all, hoping you're good and well. Missing our meet so I can do it on here. Thank you all very much for the sponsors for my ride and my bike. Us almost back together. Hang on, Steve, I need to read that again. Hello all, hope you're good and well. Missing our meets so I can do it on here. Thank you all very, very much for the sponsors forum. Oh yeah, because you did your ride, didn't you, Steve? How'd that all go, pal? Steve did a sponsor ride. Don't know if you saw. I think I chucked something up about it on the either on the Patreon supporters page on Facebook or on the Teapot Facebook page. Can't remember which one. I think Steve did some posting as well. I hope you managed to raise a lot for that, mate. Good on you. Peter Brownsmith, when all is open back up and you're heading to God's country, then give me a shout. We'll meet up this time. Definitely, pal. And keep on going with your training, man. You're doing well. Gareth Barrett, evening all, good questions. What can we expect from Bike TV? Wow, good question, Gareth. Now, from what I know of it so far, I think they're trying to, he's pitched it as basically a bike version of Top Gear. That's what they're going for. So I think they're going for your more exclusive bikes. I think I might be speaking out of turn here. It may well have changed, but when it was initially pitched, it was like there'll be one principal bike per episode, and it'll be a high level bike, and there'll be a review on that, and then around that will be each episode. There's 5 episodes now. We've had to cut 1 or 2. So it's 5 episodes, and each episode will focus on a specific thing. Like one of them was going to be the Isle of Man. Whether or not we go there now, I don't know, because obviously TT's cancelled, so I don't know if we're doing it. There were other places, other locations that we're doing. But every episode will have a set topic. It will have a principal high-level bike, and then there'll be other subsidiary events and reviews and sort of sequences round about it. So I think they're angling for Top Gear bike version, but without that budget. We'll see. Lamb chops. I'm not sure what to do. Have a Street Triple S coming 20th. I might cancel it. Yeah, mate, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Excuse me. It's a difficult one, that. I mean, the 20th is still, 10 days away? And I think we all know a lot can happen in 10 days. It might even get worse, but it could get a whole lot better. So am I saying that we're going to be out of lockdown in 10 days? Not a chance. This is here till end of Feb, March, I think. But, it's your call, isn't it? John, it's one of those things. I think I would probably get the bike, but I would hold off on social media postings about it for the time being. You can. I would be happy myself, justifying it for myself, that I can happily socially isolate whilst out on the bike. There's always that risk of having an accident, but there's that anywhere, anytime. You go out for your run, your daily exercise, you can slip on the ice at the moment, you can get run over. It's there. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I know we've had a chat, and we'll no doubt have a chat again off camera about it all. Difficult one, man. Mark Fulcher. Fuck's sake, world trips out, I'm off. We'll do it one day, Mark. We'll do it. I'll take you around. Oh, do you mean that I'm now talking about the trip? Is that what it is? I've mentioned the trip, so you're off. Thanks, pal. Cheers. Chris Murphy, ride it, Chops. Well, there you go, Chops. People have spoken. The Mad Leprechaun, evening lamb shop rides. Who's the guy with the... Mark, you love giving me grief, pal. Gareth Barrett, definitely don't cancel Chops. You'll be in the next batch over 60 plus show for vaccine. Genius. That's a genius. Messy lamb chops, messy beard, isn't it? It needs a good trim. What this is taking years, this has to mature into this fine specimen you see before you. Pete Brownsmith, on your point on the belly getting bigger on the camera, blame GoPro, it's the rounded lenses. Do you know what it is? It's that max lens mod I've got. That must be what it is, because obviously I'm an Adonis normally. Lamb chops. He's just laughing at me again. Cheers, lamb chops. Mad Leprechaun, shall we just talk amongst ourselves? Am I baffling? Sorry. Gareth Barrett, defo keep the bike, lamb chops. I picked up my new bike on the 19th of December. I normally do the run in miles within a week, going to be months now. Yeah, it's a pain in the bum, isn't it? Pain in the bum. Get out and explore the UK. Can't wait for the TV programme. It's going to be great. Well, hopefully it will do, pal. Thank you. I'm really looking forward to cracking on with it and seeing what it's like. I'm looking forward to sort of working with a proper, legitimate production crew. You know what I mean? Like people that actually know what they're doing, rather than me that just wings it. So it'll be interesting to see how they light it, how they do the sound. I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully I can benefit a little bit from it with their experience. The Explorers, where's the butt plug? I don't have one here, sadly. And I'm sure Andy's probably holding his up as we speak. Peter Brownsmith, out of the three presenters, are you the Hammond, Clarkson, or May of the group? I think I'm probably either a Clarkson or May. I think Graham is a scream, but he's quite reserved on camera. Christy, the lassie that's doing it with us, is mad as a box of frogs. I cannot wait to meet her in person. We've met doing streams like this, Zooms and stuff, but I can't wait to meet her in person because she seems an absolute scream, a lot of fun. So I think it's going to be eventful. I definitely think it will be eventful, and we will no doubt be having a few laughs on there. Mick's here, onward and upward, eh? Love my hoodie I bought off your shop. Excellent, Mick. Cheers. I'm glad you liked it, pal. Thank you very much for your support. The Explorers, after watching the tours, I'd say, May, Captain Slow. Thanks very much. Come on tour with us then. We'll switch the cameras off. See how we'll have some fun. Mark Fulcher, boy bands all the way. Faith No More were class. Yes, man. They were awesome. Awesome gig that was. Mick's here. I've booked my ferry, Plymouth to Santander ferry crossing in June. Was it a waste of money? Travelling hope. Oh, June, man. I would hope by June that we can travel. But you just don't know. Is that I've not made any plans for this year so far. Bar one, which I totally forgot about. I forgot I'm going to Norway in September. Some mates reminded me the other day, actually, that I've already paid for it, and I totally forgot. Like last year or the year before, we sort of arranged it and paid for the ferries. So September time, I'm off to Norway. But that's the only thing, hopefully, that's the only thing I've got planned for this year. Mad Leprechaun, I guess I may as well say it. When, Bruce, when are you going to give in the dark side of three wheels? Right. Now, the Mad Leprechaun, Murt is a sidecar fan. He has a sidecar, and for probably, the last 4 years, Murt, he's been messaging me saying to come and do a review of his sidecar, and I've successfully managed to body swerve it so far. But I know it's going to happen, Murt. And I think that might be a good way to celebrate the end of lockdown, maybe. So let's have a chat and make it happen. I've said it now. Landshot Rides, bloody hell, never noticed you standing. Don't know what you're saying there. Peter Brownsmith, I so think it's funny that I must have passed you on the doors of the garage in Glasgow at some point after spending so much time around the Beresford halls. I used to live in the halls. I used to live there. I used to live in, what was the halls of residence called on Sauchiehall Street? Baird Hall. I used to live in Baird Hall, and the Beresford, the pub right underneath it. This is a student hall. It's called the Beresford, beautiful old Art Deco hotel in Glasgow. And right underneath it was a pub called the Beresford Arms. So obviously that was like our social club. I was in there every single night, man. So if you were there, Peter, around about 93 to 94, that's when I was in my first year. And then I worked in the garage till 2000, so you would have passed me at some point, definitely. False neutral, get yourself a bar stool. Blitzer, 13,197 steps today. Good effort, good on you. Barry Lascelles, bit of a deep question for you. Good, let's crack on with them. If it wasn't for your round the world trip and now you're rising stardom on YouTube and other social media platforms, do you think you would still be in the police? Probably, to be honest. Yeah, I think I probably would. The job, the old bill has changed so much since I joined it I started 2002, and it has changed almost beyond recognition, really. I would say certainly within the last 10 years, it's really changed. And I kind of started feeling like I didn't fit there anymore, and I don't know if that was because of the trip or, the trip changing me as a person, opening my eyes a little bit maybe, or was it just that I was getting older and really didn't have the patience to put up with people's bullshit anymore? I don't know. The old bill is I'm sure there's lots of jobs, most jobs out there which you could just settle in. And whether you like it or you don't like, you can just turn up, grind through it, and get on with it. But it's also a job where outstanding outside circumstances can sometimes and often do put you in positions where you are on offer, massively on offer. As somebody mentioned earlier, the copper that put hands on with somebody who is out walking doing COVID, you know, that copper's probably been told that you need to enforce this legislation. So he's gone out there to enforce the legislation. You're not supposed to bring your own thoughts about things into play in the old bill. You're supposed to act down the line. You know, you're supposed to be entirely impartial. That's very hard to do, but obviously you have to be a professional about it. The person that's being stopped, if a copper stopped me, I wouldn't be particularly happy, and I would probably get a little bit leery with them if they were maybe getting a bit smart with me. Maybe the copper put their hands on that person thinking they're justified to do it, and then before you know it, you're on a roll around on the ground. And ultimately, not only can you lose your job, but you can also go to jail for that, for effectively going out and doing what you think is your job. Retrospectively, we can look back and go, well, maybe you shouldn't have done that in the first place. You shouldn't have put hands on, blah, 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 blah. 99.9% of us out there would probably end up in the same position. You know, if you were put in that place at that time, fulfilling that role, you would probably do the same thing. But I know you can't comment because we're not there. We weren't personally involved. But I do know from experience, shit happens. Long-winded reply to that. I don't know. Would it still be in the old bill? I don't know. I think maybe just with age, I've changed a little bit as a person, and I just didn't feel like I had a place within that organisation anymore. No disrespect to anyone that does do it, because it's an incredibly hard job. We need them. We definitely need them now more than ever. But I never wanted to be a political tool, and I did start to feel that way in that job. That's deep. Barry Lascelles. I thought about joining the old bill in my younger years, but now being past my mid-30s, I think I'll pass. Do you know you could still get in, Barry? Would I recommend it? Probably not. But it's a job. It's a fairly secure wage. It's an okay wage. You know, I understand why people do it. Does the GS stand for Grandad's Sled? Fulch, Mark Fulcher. Right, I tell you what, pal. I am going to let you have a shot of the GS. When we next meet up, I will let you have a shot. We'll see what you think then. Lamb Chops, Gareth Barrett. Lamb Chops, is it the triple RS you've got coming? No, the base triple S. All right. Okay. Oh, have you ridden the Trident? Lamb Chops is basically saying, no, he's got the base triple S and he wants to compare it to the Trident. I didn't know you'd ridden the Trident, Chops. What else we got here? Gareth Barrett, Adventure over the GS for the looks, tank range, and flash factor. Ah, right, yeah, the GS Adventure. Yeah, I get that. I mean, looks, to me, it's just a fat GS, to be honest. Tank range, yeah, you get 300 odd miles, but personally speaking, for me, I don't ever see a need for me to be sat on a bike for 300 miles. You know, after 100, 150 miles, I'm going to want to stop to get off anyway, either for a pee, more than likely, or to stretch my legs. So, but it's, you know, potato, isn't it? Missenden Flyer, love a Goldwing, me, too much of a man's bike for Chopsy. Yeah, you were very taken with the old Goldwing, weren't you, Andy? That did look good, Steve Sherlock, sort of agree with your Super Duke R answer. However, I have the 2020 S Super Duke GT, but would love the KTM 890R after riding the other week. I've not ridden that. I've not ridden any of the smaller. Well, that's lies. I have ridden the 390 Super Duke. I rode one of them when they were first launched in 2015, I think it was. But I haven't ridden anything between that and the 1290s. Gareth Barrett, just UTP and Lamb Chops missed the Goldwing. Right. Yeah, I think it was. I was supposed to have the Goldwing coming, but then obviously all this happened, so that was that. What's that say? Roger White, that was last year, and you don't all have the same, you have the better stuff. All right. Roger does the merch. So he's just saying we don't all saying that we don't all have the same merch with just our logos on it. I've got the better stuff. Excellent. I like that, Rog. Nice. That's to you. That's to you, to TMF. Mad Leprechaun, what is it with Kawasaki? Do they not like you boys? I don't know. I don't know. Them and Yamaha both don't seem to be embraced. Certainly not like the crusties, like ourselves, myself, Chops. TMF, I think, have you just opened up a bit of a dialogue with Kawasaki and Yamaha? I can't remember if you said you did. But yeah, they don't really seem to be doing too much with us. Kawasaki don't get it. I was speaking to them but didn't get anywhere. Oh, there we go. There we go. Peter Morris. Sorry, folks. I'm just trying to catch up on the comments because they're racing away here. There's 200 odd comments here. I have a few through older bikes you can try. Sure, we can sort out some form of insurance. Also, don't think I'll be riding for a while with the arm. Oh yeah, you did your arm, didn't you? You break your arm. ZX9R, R1, Suzuki X7. That's very kind, Peter. I kind of have this unwritten rule that I won't ride other people's bikes. I just couldn't forgive myself if anything happened, and it's just, it's really kind of you to offer me your pride and joy, but I couldn't do it. I can't ride other folks' bikes. But thank you anyway. Andrew McIver, Triumph Tiger 800 XRX 2016 and Triumph Street Triple 675 2012. Nice. 800 Tiger 800 is a cracking bike, and the Street Triple, I've only ever ridden a Street Triple as a courtesy bike when my Explorer was in for one of its many workshop visits. Yeah, impressive bikes. Both Triumph, you can't go wrong. Triumph do really good bikes. It's just, unfortunately, the only Triumph I've ever owned was the Explorer, and it was a total nightmare. But I mean, you get that. You get Friday afternoon bikes, don't you? And that was one, I think. Brian Longimanis, F800 GS 2008. I've had it in 23 countries. Hopefully Morocco in September. Good man. Brian took that one to the Pyrenees with Gary that was on earlier. Yeah, good little bike that. Very good. Missing and Flyer, yes, FGR is stopping due to Euro 5. Yeah, that was in the latest MTN, wasn't it? I think there's something like 20 or 30 bikes that are being stopped now for this year. But I believe there's a whole host of new ones coming as well. Get out and explore the UK. Patreon's bike reviews. You could visit Patreons and ride and review our bikes. It's a great idea, but like I said, I sort of make this rule. I don't ride other folks' bikes. Just what if something happened? I dropped it, had an accident, or just I ride your bike and a week later something goes wrong, and then you just open yourself up to a can of worms, and I can't do it. But thank you. What we got here? Mavis, Lamb Chops. Mavis hates the Goldwing. I like that. If you've not watched any of Lamb Chop's latest vids, have a watch of them. He has a new character, a new person involved called Mavis. Well worth checking out. It's funny. I like what you've done there. Nice one, John. The Explorers, Andrew McIver. I'm looking at a 2011 Speed Triple 675 and I passed my test when they stopped cancelling it. Yeah, that must be a nightmare, man. I know a lot of people who are in that boat at the moment. They've had the bike test cancelled, like some of them 4 or 5 times now. I know if you watch Tins on Tour, the Tins on Tour, she's had her, is it Faye? Faye's had her test cancelled, I think 5 times now. So, yeah, I feel for you folks, I really do. But it will come. It will come. You will get it eventually. Peter Brownsmith, now I've moved to the dark side. I'm loving the KTM Super Adventure 1290. I missed the fuel tank of the 1250 GSA, but apart from that, loving the KTM. The engine is just awesome. Really puts a smile on my face. Yeah, absolutely. That KTM engine is, I think it's one of the best riding engines out there, that 1290. And the Gen 3, the Super Duke R Gen 3 1290 engine, it's just beautiful, man. It is so smooth, and there's so much brutal power there. It's just beautiful. The fueling, they've nailed it. Love it. Lamb Chop rides. Don't encourage Mavis. She can probably hack this. Yeah, probably could. Can't. It's got something. Other bikes I've tried don't. the V8 5TT, though I'm quite new to riding and all I wanted was a bike with shaft that was easily ridden. It's my first bike. I've got to admit, I'm disagreeing with TMS review as it's slightly underpowered, but for a new rider, not much. But I fear the review bike was restricted in rev range and shift lights. Was this the V85 TT? Yeah, I've never ridden one, no idea. What we've got here? Chris Murphy, is Mr. Fish with us? I don't think John's, I don't think he's a patron actually, to be honest. Apologies, Mr. Fish, if you are, but I don't think I've seen your name crop up. Johnny Hackinson, try to get a Boss Hoss for a review. Well, I'm hoping to do some stuff with Harley, but obviously the current situation is hold on just about everything. So but watch this space. Simon Bale, evening everyone. Evening Simon, how are you? Mark Fulcher, we're going in 2022 though. Is that the round the world thing that we're doing in 2022 or the TT? I think it's the TT. Fulcher and I are all, well, we were all set last year to do the TT. That got cancelled. It got put forward to this year, and then obviously they've cancelled this year's one as well. So 2022 will be at the Isle of Man. If you're there, come say hello. Steve Mason, hi big man. I did 1,123 miles in 19 hours, and we made almost 800 quid. Mate, that's phenomenal. Well done, well done. That's a huge mileage to be doing. Good lad, excellent. 800 quid for your charity as well. Good man. Hartley Rides TV show could do the Isle of Man as a bike destination outside of TT. It's ace for a long weekend. I actually said that. I actually said, well, we don't need to go just for the TT. Why don't we do something outside of the TT? So watch this space. That might happen. John Chew, beard question. I've one about as long as yours. Hey, the conundrum is beard under or over the chin strap, and then when you stop, are you a comb and wax kind of guy, or just sod it? Honestly, John, comb and wax? No. I'm very much. I was going to say I'm a suck it and see kind of guy, but that will probably go down the wrong way. Certainly with TMF watching. Yeah, I think I do chin strap. However it does up. I think I generally have to flip the beard out the way to do the chin strap up. And during the summer, yes, but during the winter when I've got the old buff on, then my beard's tucked away in the buff, so it goes over, and you end up with that line around your beard. Oh well. And then when I get off the bike, just however it goes, really, to be perfectly honest. I think when you look like this, you know, a daft looking beard is the least of your worries. Gary Taylor, you still got your no haircut deal on with Fish? I do, yes. Can you see? You see that? Look at that. Look at it. Hey. It's almost, you know, my missus wet herself the other day. I said to her, I had to comb my hair. She just about fell on the floor. I had to comb my hair for the first time in about, wow. Gee whiz. You're probably looking at, God, 20 years? Because I've bicked my head since I was about 18. Maybe about 2021, I started shaving it totally bald. And actually, no, that's lies. I shaved it totally bald when I joined the old Bill. That's right, so it would be 2002. So that's 18 years. 18 years since I've actually had any hair. And I was brushing my teeth in the bathroom, and I noticed that the hair here was falling over my ears, and it was tickling my ears. So I got the comb out and combed my hair. Amazing. But yeah, I still have the deal with Mr. Fish. He is absolutely hammering me at the moment because his head looks like this microphone foam thing, popper. And I've got that feeble excuse. But I'll probably will have to shave it off before we start filming for the TV show. So we'll see. Chris Murphy, podcast with the other two presenters of the TV show would be good, Bruce. That is happening. That's absolutely 100% happening. Not sure when, but it will be in the build-up to the show airing on Amazon. We'll do that as part of a sort of PR drive, I would imagine. We might do a few in the build-up to it anyway. Ian P, didn't the missus say she wanted to go to Norway? Yes, she does. So that was a difficult conversation yesterday or today when I said, no, Norway, I'm actually going, but not with you. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Ian. Get out and explore UK. June 20th, I'm doing an Iron Butt SS 1000. What's that? Oh, Saddle Sore 1000 from Land's End to John O'Groats via the M25. So I'm hoping everything is open as I'm doing it for charity. Good on you, man. Nice one. Good. Yeah, it's a hard slog, but it's definitely doable. Good on you. Knut, Norway. We got to meet to have a beer. Absolutely. I'm not in charge of this trip. This is some mates of mine who are going, and it's a proper slog. But I'll find out details and I'll let you know, Nut. And if we can, it'd be great to meet up. Mark Fulchar. Oh God, what's he saying now? Who's taking the BSB Championship this year? World Superbikes and GP. Predictions, please. God, do you know what? I haven't got a clue this year who's involved. I think World Superbikes, I'm going to go Scott Redding. Got to be. MotoGP, wow, next year. Or this year, God. I mean, the season that's just gone there were names cropping up on there that I was like, who's that? Who is that? And they're competing for the front and podiums. BSBs, I don't know, Fulch. You're the proper racy man, you are. Pass. What's everyone else think? Pete English, really enjoyed the podcast with Nikki. It was like we were with you in the marriage guidance office. When is Henry Cole rebooked on? Let's see if he can beat 5.6 thousand views. You know, it's interesting you said that. I said to Nikki, I think I said it during the podcast, certainly afterwards. I was like, I'm really enjoying this. It is actually like a marriage, like counselling visit. Not that we need it, but it was nice to just sort of chat and be quite open about stuff, you know, questions that you were asking. Henry Cole, he was due to come on. His filming schedule got in the way, and then his agent sort of said, right, I can give you half an hour. After me saying, you know, these are normally 2 to 3 hours long, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of said, well, half an hour isn't really any good because, you know, the whole point of this is getting to know people, and I don't really see any point in doing it for half an hour. So that effectively, I think, is the end of that. I don't think he will come on. I would love him to, because I think he's a very interesting guy. Bought and read his latest book, actually. Yeah, I would love to have a chat with him, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Andrew McIver, the Explorers. Mine is the 2011 model, same as TMF. It's great. Love taking it around Knockhill and hoping to take it to Cadwell as soon as I can. The Explorers. Mine is a 2011 model, same as TMF. You haven't got an Explorer, have you, Andy? Yeah, there we go. Andy's just said I don't have a 2011 anything, Andrew. If you're talking about the Triumph Explorer, I had a 2014 one, I think was mine. But yeah, loved it at the time. Absolutely loved it at the time, and then things started going wrong, and it was a nightmare. Steve Mason just had to laugh at the wife. She was drying herself off after a shower, and I walked in with you on my phone. Then she said, "Oh my God, can you see me nude?" Sorry, Mrs. Mason. We didn't see a thing, I promise you. I promise. Andrew McIver, isn't the Street Triple the 2011? I thought it was, my mistake. Sorry. Andy and Andrew are having a bit of a chat. Pete English, you can have a go at one of my dirt bikes, Bruce. They're built to be dropped. Do you know, Pete, I might take you up on that, actually, because I need to work on my off-roading, so it would be good to come out with a professional. Mark Fulcher. Also, you need to get on an MT10 for a blast. Absolutely, man. I would love to try the MT10. I've had a few mates that have had them, but again, like I said, I just don't like riding other people's bikes. It just doesn't seem right. Excuse me. Right. Oh, I think we're nearly catching up with some comments. Mad Leprechaun. One of my friends will be racing on the Isle of Man 2022. Harry Payne. He's the British Championships this year. You won't be surprised to hear he drives an F2 sidecar. God, those folk are absolute maniacs. watching the sidecars and stuff at the TT. That's just insane. Pete English, what was the worst present you received this year? That's a horrible question, Pete. God. Worst present. Well, I mean, probably the most boring present is pants and socks. But I've said it before. I'm sort of at an age now where I actually look forward to getting fresh pants and socks, and I needed them. So yeah, I think pants and socks probably the most mundane present, but genuinely one of the most practical that I received. God, I'm old. Where else? Gareth Barrett. TP, do you feel you got off lightly with Nikki after all the banter of Neil thingy and her seal hubby? What's that mean? I don't get that. Gareth, can you elaborate on that one, pal? The banter of Neil thingy and her seal hubby. I'm missing it, mate. I'm not getting it. You're gonna have to really lay that one out for me. Just Sammy, if you could have anyone past or present from Brewtime, who and why? Wow, great question. Awesome question. Do you know, I'd love to have Joe Rogan on for a chat. Genuinely would. I love listening to his podcasts. I love how open he is to other people's point of view, but at the same time, I also like, and sometimes find myself screaming at my phone when I'm listening to him, that he will stick to his own point of view, quite religiously if he thinks he's right. So, I like the fact that he stands up for himself, and I also like the fact that he is very open to other people's point of view, and he'll listen to it, and I just like the variety of sort of guests he has on. I think he'd be an interesting guy to chat to, and a funny guy to chat to. Who else would I like to have on as a guest? Billy Connolly. Love to chat with Billy Connolly. I think that would be an utter scream. Cool. Who else? Do you know, I would genuinely like to have Charlie Borman on, because I do think the bloke's an interesting guy. And okay, I know he's had film production crews as backup and stuff, but the bloke's achieved a hell of a lot, and I'd love to chat to him about some of the stuff he's done. Other people like Ben Fogel, I'd love to have a chat with Ben Fogel. I'm trying to get him on the podcast, but he's another one that, the guy has done some incredible things. You just think he's a posh bloke off the telly who lived on an island, but the guy has achieved some pretty monumental things. He's rowed across the Atlantic. And that, again, like there's another brainwave coming off in my head here, but that is also something that's tickled my fancy. And will I ever do it? Probably not. But it's something that's tickled my fancy. I thought, ooh, that's a challenge. But I've got to do the cycle around the UK thing first. There's lots of people I'd love to have on. Lyndon Poskett. Lyndon's coming on at some point. We're just trying to figure out the schedule at the moment. But I have touched base with him, and he's definitely up for coming on. So that'll be great. Trying to get Johnny from the Late on the Break show. I'm trying to get him to come on as well at the moment. Again, it's just trying to find some time. I've got a couple of lads who rode around the world way back in, blimey, when was it, 2007, 2008? They did it for Bernardo's charity, Biking for Bernardo's. They actually did the proper long way round route, but they did the whole thing. They didn't miss any out. Remember the Zeeloft Gap, the long way round lot, jumped on a train and missed that bit out. Well, and the Road of Bones and stuff. Well, these two young lads themselves did everything. So I'm trying to get them on. Hopefully we can figure out a date and a time when they can come on. So that'd be great. But yes, there's lots of potentially interesting guests due to come on the podcast. But it's just logistics at the moment. And I think a lot of people are sort of feeling a little bit down at the moment. I think we're all going through it. And there's a few people are like, I don't know if I'd be great company at the moment to chat to. So I understand that, but there are guests coming, definitely. Right, God, the comments have just jumped. Where were we? Oh, so, yeah, Just Sammy, that was a cracking question. Any guest, yeah. Pete Brown-Smith, if you had to, do you do US on a Harley sitting bitch to TMF in lycra pit girl trousers, do India in a tuk-tuk with the Kardashians in the back, or Australia in a sidecar with Dickie Anus doing tunes all day. Australia, sidecar, Dickie Anus. Genuinely, I'd love to do a road trip with Rich. I really would. Get on well with Rich, funny lad. And I like his eye. Rich and I do quite similar videos. I think a lot of the time we both like, traditionally, we both sort of did the trip vids. And I think we've got the same sort of eye with that. But I think Rich's eye for photography and cinematography is spot on. And I'd love to do a little collaboration with him doing a bit of a road trip. I think that could be a lot of fun. TMF, sitting bitch and lycra, I would be nervous all the time because he is a deviant, I think, as we all know. Pete English, you'll have to come out to Toro again. We can have a good play. Absolutely, man. I'll be out to Toro as soon as we possibly can. It's going to be busy when freedom returns. Barry Lascelles, can't beat a good set of new socks at Christmas. I know, man. Absolutely. We're just getting old, but I think with age comes practicality and wisdom. That's the thing. Brian Longimanis, I got feckin' hankies. I'm not at the hanky stage yet, Brian. I've got to say, my dad was always a hanky man, and I could never understand why he always had hankies with him. I'm not at that stage yet. Johnny Hackinson, the Boss Hoss is not Harley. It's a V8 powered bike with a Corvette engine. Totally bonkers. Jesus, I didn't know that, man. Wow. Corvette engine, V8. God, that sounds like something Alan Milward would do, doesn't it? Mark Fulcher, last time you were up here, you mentioned about getting a dog or two. Surely self-employed, lockdown, and wanting to get out for a walk or two. Now's the time to do it. Which breed and how many? Absolutely. Nikki and I have been chatting about it. We were all set to go and get a couple of dogs, so at least one. We want to go and get rescue ones. But the problem at the moment is all the rescue centres are shut. So we can't really do anything too much about it. I want big dogs. I've always wanted a Great Dane and either some sort of Mastiff or a St Bernard. And I was going to call him Bodie and Doyle. Just corny, but I've always wanted it. Trouble with the big dogs is they don't live too long. So if you get a rescue one, it's generally going to be, 3, 4, 5 years old. And they only really last like 5 to 7 years, I think. So at the moment, don't really know. To be honest, I'd be happy with any dog, but they've got to get on with cats because we've got a couple of cats. As soon as we can, then yes, that's in the pipeline. It's a difficult one again because, okay, yeah, I'm self-employed, I'm working from home, but the very nature of my job means that I'm going to be away at times. Like I'm going to be away for 3 weeks to Norway. If I go away on tour, it's generally a minimum of a week, sometimes 2. And it's not fair of me to expect Nikki to just, like it and lump it and put up with not only me being away, but also looking after all the animals as well. So it's not quite as simple. But again, it's not the end of the world. It will happen eventually. Ben Tour, when I first heard you mention brew time, I thought it was an old ladies' tea knitting session. I don't think we're that far from it, really. We just sit around and gossip, don't we? Drinking beer. Peter Brownsmith, did you ever get any response from Itchy Boots? No. I haven't, mate. I've messaged her a few times. A couple of people have messaged me to say they've spoken with her and brought it up, but she's never replied. So I will. Gary Whipperman, how about a clan meet at first that we can attend, BSB race meetings or something? Well, yeah, we were going to do that, Gary, weren't we? We were going to do the last round at Brands Hatch in October, but then obviously all the further COVID restrictions hit. But yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. We did a BSB meet, camp over, have some fun. Pete English, black coffee. Black coffee? No, I missed something. Sorry, Pete, I think I missed something there. Black coffee. I'm a fan of black coffee, definitely. Harley writes, I met Charlie twice, a really nice guy. Do you know, I've heard that from everyone that's met Charlie. Everybody has said that he's actually a really down-to-earth lad. So, maybe no, it might happen. I don't know. We'll see. Johnny Hackinson, I've recommended a Brit, a blonde, and a bike. I still think it would be good. Ah, yes. Sorry, Johnny. Yeah, you did, didn't you? You messaged me about that. Yeah, I've seen some of their vids. I will get on it, mate. Definitely. I've had a lot of people recommend people, and I don't just want to ask someone to come on the podcast without sort of watching some vids and getting to know them a little bit first. I just haven't had the time to, believe it or not, I just haven't had the time to sit and watch a lot of the videos for the people to see what they're like. But a few people have mentioned them. So yeah, hopefully we can make that happen. Mark Fulcher, how's Nikki coping with no car boots to go to? She's a little bit depressed, mate. I've got to admit. The house is getting tidied up. And by that, I don't mean like in a sexist way. I mean in that Nikki is a bit of a hoarder. So her shit appears everywhere. And she's actually, because she's not adding to it at the moment, she can't go to any charity shops, she can't go to any car boots. She's actually starting to deal with the stuff that's here. So it's slowly getting tidied away, which is great. But no doubt, as soon as the car boots return, I will be living with a hoarder once again. Mad Leprechaun, before I go, a very big thank you to you for all your help over the past year, directly and indirectly. Oh, and threw down my gauntlet with the sidecar thing, and you picked it up. You accepted the challenge. Mort, thank you very much, pal. Appreciate you coming on and having a little chat and engaging with us here. Good on you. I'm glad to know it's helped. I really am. A lot of people have messaged and said that the vids and content have helped them through the last year. So that's awesome to hear, because just doing it helps me. So it's great to know that it's reciprocated, and I appreciate your support. Sidecar, yes, it will happen, mate. I promise you, it will happen. Pete English, Ben Fogel, that would be great. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I would love to have a chat with him. I've DM'd him a few times on Instagram and not had any responses yet. So people, if you're out there, DM him, mention this, try and tag us up if you would, because if he thinks people want him on there, you never know. He or his agent or whoever handles the social media, they may well go, okay, might be a good idea here. The Explorers, get Charlie Borman on a podcast. Yeah, I would love to. Again, same thing. I would love to get him on. I have messaged him a couple of times. No reply as yet. Gareth Barrett, no best, as in Mrs. Black Rifle Coffee. You mentioned more than once you'd like her to join on Around the World. Did Nikki give you grief over that? No, she's not actually. Nikki's good as gold. Yeah, how could I forget Noel or Noel? There's the slight barrier that her husband is Matt Best, who, former Navy Ranger, I think he is. Army Ranger, sorry, not Navy, you'd kill me for that. So yeah, probably he might have something to say about her disappearing with me around the world. As indeed, well, obviously Noel would want to. Plainly, she would want to. But yeah, I don't think her husband would be too happy. Neither would my wife, actually. Ventura, what about some patrons as guests? They would be low rent. Well, again, yeah, I want to do that. I would love to do something like that, but I'd rather do it in person. So what I'd like to do is when we do, when freedom returns and we can get out and we can do the clan-only ride-outs and meetups, is the first, well, the only one we've done so far with the pheasant situation. We stayed overnight in a hotel. So the idea would be to bring the mics, the podcast stuff with me, and then we could get a couple of us together and sit and have some beers and a chat with the mics, and do like a podcast in the hotel room type of thing, just to chat and do it that way. Might be able to do it over Zoom with one or two of us together, but then how do you choose which one? How do you choose which people? But never say never. Patron camping trip. Mark Monday, patron camping trip. No, not that sort, TMF. I think that would be a good idea. Yeah, we do one of the clan meetups or ride-outs, and we do a sort of camping version of it. Where's the Explorers gone? Ah, there we go. The Explorers. He was really polite and approachable. I saw him at Clackett Lane Services. Like a dick when I saw him, I said, "You're Charlie Borman." You must get that loads though, eh? Loads of people must sort of look at him funny or come up and chat or totally freeze in front of him. But I've heard he's a great guy. Gareth Barrett, that's the girl Pete. That's the girl Pete English. Oh, no best. Missing Flyer. I don't do camping of any type. Yeah, he doesn't. When he came and did the Wild Bad Weekend at Rich's thing a couple of years ago, everyone else is camping in a field. TMF, no. Hotel, taxi, to and from the venue. That's the way to travel. That is the way to do it. Steve Sherlock. Another heavy question. Sorry, but a bottle of port and half a bottle of gin at Daisy's birthday. Can you recall a memorable moment that repeats from your many journeys on the bike? Oh, wow. there's quite a few actually, but I remember there's one that struck me once was it only happened once, didn't it? I was in, going to sound all windswept and interesting here. I was in Timor, West Timor. So I was on my way to the border to cross into East Timor before I headed down to Australia. And I remember going through this amazing forest on the road, beautiful road, really nice surface, great twisty, beautiful biking road, fantastic. And it sort of went up a little bit. It reminded me a little bit of like the Picos almost. But if you imagine the Picos with rainforest, really lush green. But when you go up in the mountains and the Picos and then it opens up and you have these beautiful vistas of the sort of valley and land below, it was like that. And I remember just looking out. I think I've taken a picture of it. I think it will be somewhere on the Facebook, the TeapotOne Facebook page. I'll dig the picture out and I'll post it up on Facebook again. I'll repost it. But I remember the look, the picture, the view of the sort of land below. It was like prehistoric. It really struck me that I just thought you would expect like a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a Brontosaurus or something to come wandering through those woods, or a pterodactyl to fly, towards me. It was just an amazingly like natural sight. It was incredible. It's hard to put into words, but that stayed with me. Things like the off-roady bit in Laos when I went down the road that I thought was a road, but they hadn't built it yet. Some of the toughest times I've ever spent, on a bike or off a bike, physically and mentally. But I'm so glad I did it, just because, would I ever put myself in that situation again? I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be faced with that again. But at the time, it was just, not knowing where I was going, not knowing what was ahead of me, knowing that behind me was really too much for me to turn around. By that point, I was like, I'm committed. I've got to keep going. But I didn't know how far civilization was. I was running out of fuel. Started crashing the bike. Got held up at gunpoint by some villagers who were trying to protect me from drug smugglers. There was just all sorts of stuff happening, and it's that those memories definitely stick in your mind. And then there's other stuff, mundane stuff, like I was in the States and I'm on the highway because I had to churn out a lot of miles one day, like 400 or 500 miles. So I'm just eating tarmac on the highway, and I remember just thinking, I want to be home. I want to be home, sat in my pants, watching TV, and you just think to yourself, you're riding around the world here. People give their back teeth to do this. And just stupid little times like that pop into your head sometimes. Anyway, Brian Longimanis. I've also got a TP t-shirt. Thank you, Brian. Cheers for your support. Chris Holmes, any advice on reasonable daily mileage for the NC 500 or the NC 767? Honestly, Chris, it's totally down to you, pal. It really is. You can do it in a day. The NC 767, that's going to be a hell of a long day. You can do it in a day, but why? Why? Just, I would say, 3 days. 3 days would be a nice journey on the 500. Excuse me. But even then, you're not giving yourself anywhere enough time to really explore the places that you're going to come across. 5 days to a week, that'll give you time to enjoy some places. Spend a bit of time there. Depends what type of traveler you are. I tend to be, a lot of the time, I tend to get caught up in wanting to get to the destination. So it's all about the ride and the destination. But I think the older I get, I sort of start thinking, maybe I want to enjoy a little bit along the way, and maybe cut the mileage down and enjoy more of where I am at the time. But it depends. Depends what sort of travel you are, really. But certainly 5 days to a week, fine for the 500. You need to think, Tony Hannum, you need to think carefully about getting a dog, especially when your wife works and you going on long trips. Yeah, definitely. Like Nikki now works from home, but at least once a week she has to go into the office. So yeah, that is part of the reason why we haven't got a dog yet for that. Beat English Adventure Bike Weekend would be a great clan meet. Do you know, I've never done that. I've never done the Adventure Bike Weekend. Is that the ABR? The ABR. Yeah, I've never done that. Barry Lascelles. Baz's wife here, Chaz. How you doing, Shaz? Given that the world is becoming so accessible on two wheels these days, where within a 2-week travel radius would you recommend? I say Russia, but I just get funny stares. Wow. 2-week travel window. Russia, I 100% recommend you go to Russia. Absolutely. 2 weeks. It's going to take you. Depends. Are you flying in there and getting a bike, or are you going to ride your bike there and back? If you're flying in and hiring a bike and heading off, then yeah, 2 weeks, absolutely. Yeah, you're not. You could cross Russia. You could cross the entire country. Ride from Moscow to Vladivostok over on the east coast. You could do it. There's a race that does it in 10 days, so it is possible. But you're going to miss a lot. You are definitely going to miss a lot. And for me, Russia really gets interesting a couple of 100 miles east of Moscow. Moscow's great. Moscow's a great city. But Russia really comes alive as you head east. And I've only done the bottom part where the road is. If you go north off of the road, then that's going to be real Russia, but you're going to be proper remote. If you like off-roading, definitely do that sort of thing. There's a place called, is it Novosibirsk? I think it's Novosibirsk is the city in the middle. When I snapped the frame for the 3rd time and I lived with a family, that was in Novosibirsk. That's a great city. Really, really nice place. Is it feasible to do that in 2 weeks? Oh, God. Don't know. You could do it. You could do it, but I think with 2 weeks, I would probably want to head somewhere like. I would probably want to head to somewhere like Greece. And that's what I'm planning at the moment. Actually, is you just do a real hard slog, get down to Greece, and then have some fun from Greece, heading back up through like the Balkans and places like that. A little bit of Eastern Europe, bit of Turkey, and all up around there, because I've not spent that much time in that part of the sort of European continent. So I would like to see that. If you don't want to be quite as adventurous, a good 2-week road trip around Spain. Spain's got a lot to offer on the bike. Spain and Portugal. You could ride down across to Morocco and do some time down in Morocco. There's so much to see. Honestly, there's so much to see. If you're going to do fly ride, then you pop to the States. You could fly to Ecuador. Ecuador's a great country. You're pushing a boat out here, I appreciate, but Ecuador's a fantastic riding country. It really is. And there's a company that I met when I was on my trip. I don't know if they're still going, but I think they were called Ecuador Bike Rentals or something like that. Funnily enough, they did rental bike tours. But they were based in Quito, Quito, in Ecuador. And yeah, the roads in there, I was gobsmacked at how good they were. They were fantastic riding roads, beautiful surface. There's probably a lot of off-roading there as well. But yeah, definitely 2 weeks is more than long enough. I know a guy in the old build that basically is working his way around the world, literally by I think he'd take 2 or 3 weeks every year, and he would just fly to a place. He would do as much as he could in that time, mark where he finished, fly back, and then the next year he'd go to where he left off. He just does it in stages. Lots of people out there can't afford the time or the money to take a year or 2 years off their life really to go and do the dream trip. So that's how they do it. They break it down into little bite-sized chunks. Nothing wrong with that. Right, sorry. Where are we? Yeah, cheers for that one, Shaz. That's a good question. Mark Fulcher. If she's tidying it all away, surely there's going to be room for another bike in the stable then. Well, yeah, there might be room, but there's certainly no money in the bank for it. That's the problem, pal. Gareth Barrett. Love the idea of the sidecar. Get a boy band back together with challenges, taking turns in riding and pillion or passenger. Be a riot. That's a good idea, actually. Chopsy, TMF, Dickie, if you're watching. We keep talking about our next sort of group challenge, don't we? Sidecar thing could be a good idea. Mark Fulcher. Oh, and for your info, I'm reminding Dom Herbert about that pillion lap at the TT you agreed to. Can't wait to hear you screaming on the back down Bray Hill. Do you know, he messaged me actually when they said the TT wasn't happening this year. He did a post on Instagram and I commented along the lines of, "Oh, that's a shame, you know, that'd be a shame. I was looking forward to that pillion lap." And he messaged me back and said, "I've not forgotten. There's always the year after." So I'm hopefully that will happen. Scare the crap out of me, but yeah, hopefully that will happen. Roger White, Sean Conway could be another. I've messaged Sean again a couple of times. Sean is an utter maniac, if you've not heard of him. He's on Instagram. And he did the world's longest triathlon, where he cycled, swam, and ran around the UK. Phenomenal. Amongst other things, the guy has done loads. He is such an interesting chap. Follow him on Instagram. Again, I've DM'd him a couple of times trying to get him on and not had any reply as yet. But, you know, patience and commitment, maybe we'll get there. Ventura, sounds an awesome idea. The Patreon chats in a locked hotel room. What could go wrong? Chris Murphy, clan meetup, motocast, like you did with Mr. Fish. Yeah, definitely. There's some practical restrictions on that, number-wise. Obviously, with cardos, we can have up to 15 of us together. Your speed, you need to watch your speed, because A, it's hard to hear each other talking when you're going fast, and also with the cameras recording. You've probably noticed in my vids, slow down a lot. I don't like to show speeding when I'm on the camera too much anymore, for obvious reasons. So it can impact on the ride a little bit, but you know, if everyone's up for it, we could certainly do something like that. Johnny Hackinson, have to drain the lizard. No worries, pal, no worries. Where are we? God, the questions have just jumped again. Mad Leprechaun, Pete English, love that idea. Hope to have my new bike by then. Or is this the group sidecar challenge? God, I think we've started something here. Gareth Barrett, have you heard about the Welsh 360? Saw a brief map and looks terrific and more manageable for us Southerners. What are the plans for chicken strips now in 2021? Welsh 360? No, I've not seen that actually. Good idea. Some great roads. Chicken strips, for those that don't know, is my sort of touring arm of TeapotOne. I have no plans at all for any of my own tours in 2021 at the moment. I don't see any point in planning anything. It takes a lot of time, a lot of commitment. It's a logistical nightmare when things like last year happened. I had 5 tours, all bought, paid for, and then everything happened here. So you then, you know, I'm trying to give people money back, but you've got to try and get the money back off the ferry companies, sometimes off of hotels. You know, not all the hotels will allow you to pay when you get there. Sometimes to block book the rooms, you have to pay up front. So yeah, there's like a big sort of logistical supply chain that can get involved, and it's just and then trying to track who you've given refunds to. Some people didn't want refunds; they wanted to keep it till this year. In the end, I just gave everybody their money back. So this year, because there's so many unknowns, because of the TV show, because of I don't know what's happening this year yet. So I've decided I'm not going to plan any of my own trips, but what I want to do is what I just did to the Canaries in December is probably piggyback off the likes of Canary Moto Tours and Toro Adventure. So we could just organise tours that I'll come away with you, but we'll do tours through them to the Canaries, to Slovenia, Croatia, Austria, Italy, places like that. And then with Toro, can do tours to Spain, Portugal, Morocco. So effectively it's their tour and I'm just there with you and I'll be filming it and that sort of stuff. So that's just a lot easier to do. Obviously, I don't make the same amount of money out of that, but it's still content and it's a chance to get away with people and have some fun. So I think that's probably more likely what I'll do this year. We'll see. Ventura, saw the NC500. I like the DM745.7. Crossing the Clyde to crossing the Forth. Do it in 4 days. Perfect. All right. Okay. All right. 745.7. Johnny Hackinson. I did the NC500 in a day, 2018. I have to go back this year, hopefully, and spend more time. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. Definitely is possible. I did it on one of my vids, didn't I? But you miss a lot. You definitely miss a lot, and it's a slog. Pete English. Really do hope Richie's wild Wild Bad Weekend of 21 will happen this year. It was bloody fantastic in 2019. It was, man. That's where we met, wasn't it? Yeah, fantastic. I really do hope it does happen. If any of you haven't experienced it yet, it's well worth doing. The Wild Bad Weekenders. It's a lot of money as an outlay. You first look at it and you think, God, that's a lot of money. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed at what Rich and his troupe lay on for you when you get there. Great big marquee, non-stop entertainment, food's all included. The beer's not. Obviously, you have to pay for your beer. There's a big joint ride out. There's loads of prizes. It's a riot. It's literally Friday to Sunday, non-stop fun. Well worth trying. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that will happen this year. Steve Sherlock. Oh, where's it gone? Loving the stream session, Bruce. Well done, pal. Happy 2021 to you and everyone in the clan. Live your life. Thank you very much, Steve. And you, pal. I hope 2021 brings you a bit more happiness and joy than 2020 did. Maybe you had a good time in 2020. Who knows? But thanks very much for that. Appreciate your support. The Explorers. Has anyone on here done the Road of Bones in Russia? Well up there on my bucket list. I've not. No. The Road of Bones is a contentious issue because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not, because I've spoken to a lot of people in the know here about it. The Road of Bones that you see on the long way round isn't actually the road that you have to take anymore. That's the old road, and sort of running alongside it is the new road, which certainly when I was there, 2013, 14, they hadn't tarmacked it yet. It was still like a lot of Russian roads, just open earth. So when it rains, it gets really muddy. It's horrible. It's horrific to cross. But if it's dry, it's not too bad. It's just a track. So you can do that option. You know, that's the one that everyone does, is that main sort of highway. The old road, which the long way round guys did, I mean, that's an impressive challenge to do what they did, absolutely, because it's not used anymore. You don't come across people really like they did, but it's a challenge. Yeah, definitely a challenge. I'd love to have a crack at it. As much as I go on that I hate off-roading, I would definitely like the personal challenge of trying it. So if anyone wants to do it, drop the Explorers a line. Hook up, do it. Ian P, would you really like to do a D-Day battlefield trip with... Oh, would really like to do a D-Day field trip with you, Bruce. Oh, cheers, Ian. Yeah, I sort of did all that when I first passed my test and got into biking. The first thing I did was headed across the channel into France, and yeah, enjoyed it. It's a very humbling thing to do, to see all the D-Day beaches and see all of the battlefields and stuff that they went to. It's definitely worth doing. I've got no plans to do it at the moment, but I wouldn't say no. Definitely wouldn't say no. Can find the time to do it. Definitely, let's go and do it. Brian Longimanis. I'm with Pete English for the Adventure Bike Fest as I meet. I hear lots of good things about it. I've never done it myself, as I say, but I hear good things about it. Gareth Barrett. Nevesy from MCN did a 2-week trip through Italy and ferry across to Greece. Would love to go beach hopping in the sun. Yeah, definitely. I like Nevesy. I would like to get Nevesy on the podcast, actually. He's a fun guy. A fun guy. What do I sound like? Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting chat to chat to. Hartley Rides. Pete English, hoping Wild Bad Weekend 21 happens too. Booked already. Good on you, Paul. Pete Brownsmith. Interesting when you mention Low, my mate Davy McCurry. I met Davy there. Our mate. There we go. Yeah. Always said about how lovely people were in Low in terms of all places in the globe. What are the nicest people? Right. If you don't know anything about this, on the world trip, when I got to Low, I had to stay a couple of days in a sort of hostel, hotel, motel type place. I've forgotten the name of the town. It's quite a big town, just as you cross into Low up in the top in the north. Luang Prabang, that was the name of it. So anyway, I was there because I had some problems with the computer. My laptop was getting vibrated so much because it was on my luggage on the back of the Gixxer. It was getting vibrated so much that the laptop was shitting itself, basically. I've had loads of, noticed that, brushing the hair back off my ear. I was having loads of problems with I think the RAM board had shook loose. So when I'm trying to edit, it kept falling over. So I put a couple of things out on the Facebook saying, does anyone know how I fixed these problems I was having? This is before I knew what the issue was. And Davy McCurry and his missus messaged and said, "You're never going to believe this. We're a couple of Scots. We're here in Luang Prabang. We live here." I think they worked in a local school, and they were just down the road from where this motel was. So I met up with them one night. That's right. I needed one of the tiny little screwdrivers. You know, the electrical screwdrivers. I needed one of them to access the back of the laptop to get in and get the RAM. So Davey happened to have all that kit and said, "Look, I'll meet up and I'll give you the screwdrivers." So we did, met up, had some beers and had a chat with them, and we sort of kept in touch ever since. I think Peter, is it right that they've moved to New Zealand now? I think they live in New Zealand and have a family there. But yeah, lovely couple. So where has been the best place with the nicest people? Oh, do you know, Roger, it's not Roger, do you know, Peter, it's I think the thing that hit home the most about that trip was that essentially we're all the same. Essentially people are the same the world over. Everybody generally, okay, I'm not saying everyone cursing models. Most people are brand new. Most people are brilliant. Most people want to get on with their lives, look after their loved ones, support their families, and just get on with what they're doing. But most people want to help if they can. They'll offer help. And I found that time and time again in almost every country. You're always going to get arseholes that spoil it. You only need to stick your head out your door. You will see it. You get it everywhere. However, there are a couple of places that really stick in my mind. Russia, definitely. The Russians were just overwhelmingly friendly, and that sticks in my mind because I wasn't expecting that. You know, I was expecting the Russians that you see in the films and you hear about in the media, and you know, the enemy, very hard people that don't like the West. They're not like that at all. You know, they're quite suspicious, maybe not suspicious. They're quite standoffish initially, I think. I think Russians aren't the type of people to throw their arms open to a stranger and wrap you in a big hug. They're not that type of person. But if they like you and if they're still talking to you within sort of the first 5 minutes, then pretty much that's it. They've accepted you. And I found the Russian people very, very warm, very hospitable, very friendly. Loved my time there, and I definitely want to go back. Japan, I love Japan. I think probably because of the whole experience I had there with crashing and meeting Pete and his family, and you know, through him getting to meet all his extended friends and family. I just had a really good time in Japan, and it really left a mark with me. I found the people incredibly respectful. I found the country beautiful. The history was amazing. Japan blew my mind. I could probably be happy living there. Norway is another place, really strong biking community, stunningly beautiful place, very expensive, sadly. But then the wages sort of are comparable for that. You get paid well over there. There's just so many, honestly, so many places. South America, Mexico. I was expecting to be running gun battles in the street and getting held up left, right, and centre. Didn't see any of that. Really friendly, lovely people. Excuse me. I'm still friends with some of the folk I met there to this day. I introduced my wife to some of them when we went on honeymoon over there. Fantastic place, really good. There's so many, man. Just the best advice is, Pete, don't believe anything you read about or see in the media. Wait till you experience it for yourself with the people of that country and make your own mind up. Most people you'll find are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Gareth Barrett, Brian and Pete, I have tickets for ABR21, so it'll be good to blow the foam off a beer or two. Good stuff. Yeah, definitely. If folks, if you're going to the Adventure Bike Festival, if you're going there this year, then sort something out. If you're not on the Facebook page yet, there's a Patreon supporters Facebook page, so get yourself on that and arrange it, meet up. I don't think I'll be going, but yeah, meet up, get yourselves together. Essendon Flyer, use the code TMF and get a discount on your ABR Festival tickets. I'll see you there. I shall be camping. Seriously, Andy, you're going. Good man. Good on you. Don't worry about the plug, pal. Good stuff. Yeah, so use TMF as your code and you'll get a discount. Nice one, man. Well, have a good time, lads and lassies. Hartley rides. Oh, this has been held for review. What have you said, Paul? TMF, you have no shame. You sucked a butt plug. He's right, you did. Jesus, have we been going for 2 hours? Holy crap. Sorry, folks. I've bored you stupid for 2 hours. Didn't realise it was that long. Is that posh camping, TMF? Roger White. Yeah, he'll be glamping, obviously. Right, where is it? When, Alex Warren, when will you be in Ireland? Alex, I wanted to do Ireland last year, but obviously couldn't. As soon as we're allowed, man. There's so many places that I want to get to, but Ireland's been there in the back of my mind as somewhere that I've got to do. So I'll get there as soon as I can this year, all going well. Eric Wheatcroft, ABR hopefully will happen this year. It's going to be bigger and better than previous years. It should be mega. Honestly, I think events like that, if they go ahead this year, are just going to be fantastic environments to be at, because everyone is just going to want to party. It's going to be such a great atmosphere. Roger White, I heard someone used a motorhome at Wild Bad Weekend on 19. What a wanker. Who is that? Who used the motorhome? Mad probably Rich. No, was Rich in a motorhome or was he in a tent? I can't remember. Mad Leprechaun, no, I'm getting a new solo motorbike, BMW R1250 GSA, 40th anniversary, and I can't wait, even if I'm not allowed to ride it. It'll just look good in the garage, Matt. Roger White, Welsh 360, I'm looking at that as I type this. Also an extended route too. I might start doing some Welsh tours and offer training too. Ah yeah, because Roger does the ROSPA stuff. Roger was on the Big Little Adventure that Rich and Mr. Fish and I did. Well, when John and I went down into Wales and we met up at the, what was the calf? Owl's Nest. When we met up at the Owl's Nest, Roger was amongst that group there. Yeah, if you're going to do something like that, Rog, let us know, mate. And if I can help with promoting any of it, then I will, definitely. 24 Charlie, hi Chief, hello from myself and Helen. Do you allocate a day off with the missus? God, do you know I need to spend more time. Like Nikki and I need to spend more time together. To be honest, we started spending the evenings together a lot more than we did, because I was just permanently up here editing, and she'd be doing her thing. But now, really, I said it before, like Chase on Two Wheels. When it hits 6 o'clock, Monday to Friday hits 6, he draws a line, and that's him finished. And I'm trying to get into that habit of having defined hours. But what I'm finding hard at the moment is that I'm staying now, because I'm sort of stopping work and I'm downstairs from 6 onwards. I end up sitting in front of the TV till 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I'm late getting up for the next day. So I need to get out of that habit. But we are spending more time together and sort of concentrating on that. 24 Charlie, have you been following the Dakar Rally, David Knight's first race? I've been following that on Instagram. That's the only place I've been following it. I've just been seeing some of the Instagram TV stuff that David's been doing. Yeah, looks mental. That Dakar, just, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? You look at lads doing 100 odd miles an hour over the soft sand, and then they come off and they brush themselves down and get up again. That's crazy. But yeah, that's proper hardcore, that. Mark Fulcher, if you were given the ability to go back and repeat any day of your life all over again, what would it be? Oh, wow. Wow. If you're given the ability to go back and repeat any day of your life all over again, what would it be? That is a proper Pete. Pete, he has done you there. Fulch has proper done you with that question. Wow. Oh. Do you know, I am going to get all the blokes out there are going to be throwing things at their TVs or their phones if they're listening to the podcast. I'm going to say this, and I'm almost shocking myself and ashamed of myself here. My wedding day was a fantastic day. Genuinely was, and not in a bad way. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was, because I just thought, it's Nikki's day, it's the wife's day. I make up numbers, I turn up, really, But it genuinely was a fantastic day. I loved every second of it. So yeah, I'd like to do that again. I've just been struck off the man list, haven't I? Oh, I just realised 24 Charlie. Is that you, Paul? Is that Paul? You change your username? Your missus is Helen. If it's not, I do apologise. Right, where was I? Yeah, Fentour. Too much beer here. I'm going to try for an intelligent question or comment. Right, what road in the UK, A or B road, is the best, your favourite? Oh, now, contentious issue because there'll be lots of opinions here. I really like, in Scotland, you've got the Eilean Castle. That's the castle from, oh God, there can be only one. What's it called? Somebody write it. That film. There can be only one. Eilean Castle. Somebody leave a comment. Tell me. Come on. I can't remember. Highlander. Is it Highlander? Yeah, it's Highlander. Is that right? No one has replied yet. But anyway, I think it's Highlander. Now, that road that runs sort of west to east past Eilean, just past Eilean, you can head north. There's a junction in the road. That road from there, basically all the way to the top of the mainland, runs all the way up the west. That's fantastic. I love that section of road. So much fun. Can't remember the road name, but whatever that road is. I think it's a combination of a lot of different roads, but it is an amazing route. Stunning route. Right. Who was that? That was Fentour, wasn't it? Yeah, cheers for that, Martin. Simon Beale, a clan meet-up at the Ball Door. Oh, man, I've done the Ball Door. That is insane. I did the Ball Door at Magna Core, and I saw some mental, they were either French or Italian or both, but these guys revved a great big V8 engine on the back of a flatbed truck. They revved it so much it burst into flames, and then they set fire to a moped. And this lunatic got on the moped and rode it around the grandstand. So bear in mind, this is now like pitch black at night. So the guys, the racers are out there riding around doing the Ball Door 24-hour enduro race. So they're in the pitch black riding their motorbikes. And then just out the side of their eye, they're going to see this fireball, this moped on fire, careering around the stands. Well, that's going to put you off a little bit. But that sums up what the Ball Door is like. It is a mental party. Great fun. I'm up for that, Simon. Definitely. You don't need to ask twice. Pete English at 24 Charlie. Whoop, whoop. Simo and Helen. It was Paul. How you doing, guys? We've got Pete English. Austin Vince would be another great guest on the podcast. Yeah, he would actually. Austin would be a lot of fun. I think Austin had COVID, or he wasn't particularly well. So I sort of eased off asking him or his missus. Lois. Austin and Lois. I think they both had COVID. Well, they weren't very, very well over sort of Christmas time. But yeah, I'd love to get both of them on the podcast for a chat. They are sort of the overland greats, if you've never heard of them. The Mad Leprechaun, night, one and all. It's been fun. Thank you, Bruce. Cheers, Mark. Thank you very much for your contributions here, mate, and having a chat. Peter Brownsmith. Yeah, Bruce, Davey and Julianne are now in New Zealand. They now have a wee kid, Rory, and living a great life. If you're never in New Zealand on a tour, give them a shout. Yeah, that's the couple that I met in Luamper in Lau. Yeah, great stuff. I will do. New Zealand's another place I'd love to get to. Terry Wright, I'm off now, Bruce. Love the stream. Would love to see a Patreon live on Facebook where we can join the cam stream, etc. I think it would be a right laugh. Keep up the good work, bud. Cheers, Terry. Thank you very much, buddy. I'll try and organise something like that. It's a bit of a logistical nightmare, but I'll see what I could do. Brian Longimanis, Bruce, loved the live chat. Top bloke. Thanks. Cheers now. Pete English, Roger White Motorhome. What's that? Well, I'm missing something there. Johnny Hackinson, Bruce, keep going. I still have more beer. Do you know, I brought up 5 beers here thinking, I'll get through them. I'm still on my first one. Stitch, despite your earlier concerns, I believe this live stream went quite well, Bruce. Let's do this again. Excellent. Good. I'm glad you've enjoyed it, man. Cool. Hello, wife.
Do you want a beer?
I've still got 4 here, right, because I've not finished my first one yet. Okay. Thank you, wife. Everyone says hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone, she says. Cool, excellent, Stitch. Glad you enjoyed it, pal. Pete English, I'm sure I've asked that before, and you said wedding day then. Oh, is that about the best day? Missenden Flyer, wedding day, soft twat. Thanks, Andy. 24 Charlie, cheers, Pete. Sat here with that lovely chocolate wine. Oh, man, yeah, Pete English's chocolate wine is fantastic. Glad you're enjoying it, Simo. Sorry, Pat, I didn't recognise with your 24 Charlie sort of tag name there. You must have changed that recently. Mark Fulcher, your wedding was awesome, mate. I was banjoed. Yeah, me too. Free beer, a lot of free beer, a lot of fun. Pete Brownsmith, Highlander, cheers, pal. Thank you. Yeah, I got there in the end. Venture, near Kyle of Lochalsh. Yeah, that's the road. That's the road I was telling you about, near Elandon and Castle. Yeah, that's the one. Everyone's shouting Highlander now. I've just caught up with all the comments. 24 Charlie, yeah, that's my call sign from the army, Bruce. Simo. Nice one, top man. Hope you're doing well, pal. Good to hear from you, you and Helen. Where are we here? Harley rides. Agree with your choice of road from the A87 up. Yeah, it's just awesome. That whole sequence of roads that just, I think it's part of the NC 500. It just all goes up the west of Scotland. Awesome. Gary Taylor, Pete English, if you're off down Adventure Bike Weekend, can I ride down with you? I live just down the road from you. I'm meeting Brian down there. Awesome. Aye, folks, feel free, honestly, if you get yourselves either on Patreon or on the Patreon Facebook page, sort yourselves out there, get yourselves some sort of logistics and do a meet-up at the Adventure Bike Festival. You never know, I might end up there. I don't know at the moment. I've got no plans to do it, but if we're going to have a party, I might come. What else have we got here? 24 Charlie, looking forward to Lyndon Poskett. He's a top bloke. Amazing what he's achieved. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm dying to get him on for a chat. So he's up for it. He said he's up for it, definitely. So hopefully it'll happen. Sorry, there's a lot of people having a wee chat. False neutral. Hello, Mrs. Sart. Everyone's saying hello, Mrs. T. Right, awesome. Right, folks, I think we've been going for 2 hours, 11 minutes so far. That's insane. I'm really sorry if I've bored you. For me, it's flown by. I was sort of expecting I'd have to fill with a lot of my own conversation, but the questions have been great. They've been coming thick and fast. So I think we'll finish off the questions and then we can let you all get on with your lives, whatever it is you're doing. Ventur, damn super fun live chat this evening. Thank you, Bruce. Ideal, keeping away the lockdown blues. Time to have a... What? Cheers. Nice one, Martin. Thanks, man. Hope you're keeping well. And I hope whenever your Energy Caravelle is delivered, that you enjoy it as much as you did on the test ride, mate. If you've not checked out Martin's test ride, he is on YouTube. Ventur, just search Ventur on YouTube and you'll see it there. Peter Brownsmith, first beer, a poor show for a Scotsman. As an adopted Scotsman, I'm 7 beers down, still with the leftovers of a 3-litre Jack Daniel bottle and Coke and wine to go. The fitness show can restart tomorrow. Jeez, man. God. I used to drink a lot. Now, I don't. Yeah, still my first beer, and I think I'm probably halfway through a can. That's a bad show. However, in my defence, I think it was Christmas Eve. Yeah, it was Christmas Eve. Someone had bought me not a proper man-sized bottle of, oh God, what whiskey was it? Someone bought me a really good bottle of whiskey, but it was like the half-size bottle of it. Not a hip flask-sized bottle, but you know, that big rather than that big. So I thought I'll fancy a nip. Oh, Dalmore, was it Dalmore? Can't remember. Anyway, I thought I'll have a wee nip. I finished the whole bottle myself in like 4 hours, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to go to bed before I become paralytic, but I'm going to pay for this in the morning. I was bright and breezy the next day. I was probably still steaming, but Jura, thank you. Mrs. Teapot's just come in. A bottle of Jura, and yeah, it was lovely. Really, really nice whiskey, that. But yeah, tonight's been a poor show. I'm sorry about that. Steve Sherlock, do you have a vid of the Highlander Road, pal? Yeah, if you go on the YouTube channel and you look at the Around the UK series, I think it's day 3. I think it's day 3 or day 4. When I did Scotland in a day, it's on that. So I think, yeah, pretty sure it's on. Yeah, it is on that. It's on that. So it's from Elandon and up. Brian Longimanis, night all, was great, Bruce. Let's do it again sometime. Cheers, Brian. Glad you enjoyed it, mate. TMF, get down to the ABR Festival, Bruce. Oh, and use the code TMF for your discount on the ticket price. I will do, mate. No problem at all. Cheers to that. Yeah, if I come, I will do, and it'll be good. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of people there. Simon Beale, what's the Patreon Facebook page? If you just go on Facebook and type in TeapotOne supporters, it'll come up there. You have to input a little, there's a question. I think it's something like, what is the super secret Facebook, no, what's the super secret password? Something like that. Either don't type anything or just type anything you like, hit submit, and I manually approve the requests anyway. So I'll check to make sure that you are a patron, and then I admit you in there. So yeah, just do that. And then it's just a sort of free for all for any of you guys and ladies, anyone that's a patron, to have somewhere where you can chat, really. Where are we? John Gore, very enjoyed the stream, Bruce. Cheers, John. Glad you enjoyed it. Roger, well done, Bruce, and all beast Bruce tomorrow. Yes, back to the fitness tomorrow. So get yourself at TeapotOne Insta onto my stories, and I will tag everyone that wants to be involved and all those who are currently involved. Hashtag Trim Teapot, hashtag Beast Bruce. Get yourselves involved. You don't need to be grafting in the gym. You can be doing anything. Pete English doesn't do the gym, but he's always grafting at work, or he's out walking. He's out like off-roading on his bike. He's doing all sorts. So as long as you're active doing something, just do something on a story and tag it in. Gary Whipperman, awesome, Bruce, do it again. Absolutely, Gary, cheers. It's gutted we've not had a chance to meet up. We normally meet up, don't we, at the Overland events for a beer, but it'll happen again. False Neutral, cheers, Bruce. TMF, you never miss a chance of a free plug. He doesn't, any type of plug. Gareth Barrett, was terrific, Bruce. Thank you, and to all the clan. Keep safe and see you on the flip side. Definitely, Gareth. Glad you've all enjoyed it. It's been great. Mark Fulcher, cheers, Mucker. Great fun, that. Nice one. Ashley Wright, really enjoyed the live stream, mate. Thank you, Gareth Barrett. Never tire of listening to your adventures, TP. Sorry if I've bored you. Just Sammy, what a brilliant evening. Looking forward to more brew times. Cheers, mate, Sam. Nice one, Sam. Cheers, pal. Gareth Barrett, by the way, Ben Reich for me every time. Oh, the whiskies, right. I probably pronounced that wrong and humiliated myself. Yeah, I'm getting into me whiskies now, I've got to admit. Peter Brownsmith, love the Mrs. Teapot commentary. Yeah, she's always in the background calling me either a bell end, dick, yeah, lots of other things. 2-4 Charlie, it's been brilliant, Bruce. It'd be great to do another one sometime. Absolutely, Paul. My plan with the Patreon live streams is I wanted to do these. I think maybe once a month is too much, but maybe once every couple of months we just do this and have a little chat. Really, I want to give more back to you on Patreon, because I'm really getting soppy. I do appreciate what you folks going the extra mile here, and I kind of want to give more back than other people can get. So whatever I can do, I will do. Roger White. Oh no, where were we there? Sorry. Pete English, Glengarry. Well, it's written Glengarioch, but where I'm from in the northeast, that's pronounced Geary. So yeah, that's a nice one. Roger White, link above. TMF, I think TMF, Andy, you have the last comment here. Great work, mate. Enjoyed that. See you soon. Oh, and get that effing beard trimmed. Oh, now there's a whole load more comments. Cheers, Andy. The beard is not being trimmed. Well, it might get trimmed, but it's not going to be shaved off, definitely. Ian P, great way to spend an evening. Cheers, boss. No worries, Ian. Glad you enjoyed it. The Explorers, thanks for an interesting night. Really enjoyed it as always. Once a month for a live stream. We'll see. We'll see how we go. Cheers, Pete. Fantastic. Really enjoyed that. Live your life. Top man, Pete. Thank you very much. Right, folks, we'll call that quits. All right. Thank you so much for everybody that's joined in. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. If you're listening in or you're watching the video at the moment, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's not been a bit weird just listening to me answer people's questions on a live stream or that. But yeah, it's been good. Folks, I hope you're doing all right. I hope you're all coping with the latest chaos here in our, third, fourth lockdown, whatever it is that we're in. It's weird times, folks. There are brighter horizons definitely coming, definitely. How long it's going to take, I don't know. Just keep slogging, keep doing what you can. Just keep looking after those that you love. Keep checking in with your mates. If you've not heard from people in a while, drop them a little line, see how they're getting on. People cope with all this sort of stuff in wildly different ways. So just dropping someone a little line to see how they're doing can really help the situation. So do what you need to do. Look after yourselves, look after those that you love. But most importantly, now more than ever, live your life. Night night. Woo-ha! Cheers, folks. Really enjoyed that. See you all later.